One. Hello guys,
Hello, everybody.
we are back, and today's
Today's a day.
the day, Ewan. We're tackling Daredevil Born
This is
Again.
it. We are right in the door. The
Yes.
Daredevil door. We're tackling Daredevil situations.
Old Hornhead
Old Hornhead.
made his
The
return.
man who lacks fear.
The man who lacks fear comes from perhaps the city who lacks fear.
The city who are unable to experience fear.
Yes, as a result of Scarecrow's tampering.
Scarecrow
I'm joking.
from the Batman too.
Yeah, maybe.
Pause.
3.
No, that. Sorry, hush. Part is hush.
Oh,
or
yeah,
Mr.
sorry.
Freeze.
Sorry, they did set that up, so you know,
Who hush him?
hush. Yeah.
Did they?
They had the investigator guy that mind when they were doing his dad's past, and they flashed it up
Oh,
on
they did mention Elliot's. Yep,
Yeah.
they did mention Elliot's. Okay, yeah, they did.
and we were like,
Oh, pause.
yeah,
Hush. You know, I'm coming off of an Arkham Knight, terrible hush, so...
yeah.
And a DC animated movie, terrible hush, so
Rip.
it's not a great day to be a Hush fan. Yeah, we're, as of recording,
Mhm.
we're, a week or two out from Daredevil, I think?
We are a week removed from it being finished.
Yeah, Daredevil finished last week. Daredevil Born Again,
Man.
on the Disney Plus.
It was an experience, Ewan.
It was a
You know-
multifaceted experience.
It was a roller coaster ride in every facet of that term. It was up, it was down, it was back up again.
Graeme's seen peaks and valleys at this point.
Many, yes.
So you're a big Daredevil guy, Graeme. You love Daredevil.
Man, massive Daredevil guy.
You're a fucking huge Daredevil guy.
Yes, I don't know if you could tell.
Well, to be fair, maybe they couldn't, because I'm trying to wonder how much Daredevil we've really talked about.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it on the tier list.
Well,
there's
there's been less new things. Like, we talk more about Spider-Man, Doctor
Yes.
Strange, Fantastic Four, in regards to what you love, because
'Cause
those things are currently happening to us.
That is true. We've had less Daredevil to speak on
We always said
since this has begun.
we would revisit this. And I think there might be more to talk about even after this episode with the ongoing
Of course,
Daredevil experience.
I would agree. Yeah,
But now that there's a thing in our hands, we can
yeah, some
say
new
that
content
it's up on Graeme's pantheon. Daredevil's up there. How
It
high are we
is.
talking? What do you think about Daredevil?
as a character, as a concept.
Yeah, I guess.
He's S tier.
Man. Holy shit.
Oh man.
S tier? No,
I
no,
don't know if it was
didn't even
ready for
doubt that. I didn't even doubt that. Well, I think it was the blanket as well, like
Is
that peak.
S tier, yeah.
Absolute cinema.
No notes.
Um,
Some notes, but it's fine.
yeah, it's good to have new stuff again.
Mhm.
We're coming off of the what was originally a hard reboot,
Yes.
then a series of people said this is really fucking stupid, don't do that,
Yes.
into a soft reboot,
Into a soft reboot,
softish reboot.
kind of a rework, if you will.
I was gonna say a rework.
The Captain America Brave New World of it all.
It's a Captain America. We're in the Captain America Brave New World.
This is
We
true.
see when Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox get involved. It was a Captain America New World Order into a Captain. That's why they changed the title. It wasn't because of other horrible connotations.
Couldn't do it.
So essentially you have Daredevil's a long storied and beloved character.
Of course.
The man without fear, blind man who is like a ninja,
Yes.
and a lawyer. He blind ninja
Essentially.
lawyer.
Yes.
They do a series of shows on Netflix, of course. This is
We
common
do.
knowledge.
Yes, this is the Defenderverse,
The Defenderverse.
if you will, the group of characters.
It was Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and then there was a Defender show as well.
Yeah.
And then so Disney buy Marvel, and that's still going, or it was going when Disney
That
were in
was
control.
that was always after the merger.
Mm-hmm.
But there were separate
This was
divisions.
when Marvel TV was a lot more of a separate
Yeah.
entity.
So it was Jeff Loeb.
I was about to say, if it was this
I think
Jeff Loeb
so.
guy.
He was running the TV division, and it was always in it, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, they mention the events of the Battle of New York in season 1 of Daredevil,
They do, yeah.
and that's really all
You see like a
like-
poster of Stan Lee, and it's like, remember Stan Lee
Like-
from Marvel?
the guy. But that's really all that's hinted at, noticed, nodded the head to, outside of the actual events we're dealing with in the shows.
Yeah. This
That's
is
the
even like
kind of
Agents of
extent.
S.H.I.E.L.D., which tries to cross over. This is
Yeah.
I really try to be its own thing, but just allow it to be in that universe so people can be like, man, I also like Daredevil, and Iron Fist.
Yes,
But then they cancel it.
they
I
do.
believe they're reaching the end of their deal, and I don't know what Netflix's thought process was. Because they essentially cancel it and allow the rights to revert back to Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it was that Disney were launching their own streaming platform,
Yeah,
which
I
would
remember
be
we
a
were all
direct
saying, like-
competition to Netflix, obviously. And it would make sense for you to want your own IP on your own streaming service.
It's true. I need to wonder if any concessions were made, or like, because from the outside it does kind of just look like Netflix kind of just didn't. Maybe they didn't want to get involved with any smoke, because it seems like they just let it naturally fall out. Because I don't think they cancelled anything. I think they just let the contract run out and then we're like, we're just not touching it anymore.
And that could be.
There was some cancellations though, like apparently Daredevil season 4 was like a thing.
I think that could be Netflix hubris or whatever. They're just thinking, oh man, we don't really need these shows anymore, whatever. Possible. And I suppose they don't, because they had run their course as they continued.
They're experiencing some diminishing returns as well.
Definitely. I would say Daredevil was the strongest from start to finish, and the rest of them slowly and steadily fell off probably as the seasons continued.
One of the last things you're getting is Iron Fist, which
is shorter than all the other seasons, simply because it wasn't as popular.
Plus, people just do not like it. Like, you bring up Iron Fist and people are like, ugh.
Like, get away here.
Which, contrary to opinion, I think we liked it.
Bro, facts, I quite enjoyed it, yeah.
That's the main lead on this point, is that both of us really enjoyed what we watched for the Defendersverse.
Absolutely, yes. I think I've somehow seen more than you.
You've seen more than me,
yeah. I've seen all of Iron Fist. I've seen majority. I've seen all of Luke Cage. I've seen majority of Jessica Jones. I think I'm like a season or 2 back for that. I've not seen all of the. I think I've seen the first season of The Punisher.
Okay.
And I've seen The Defenders, because that's only one season.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I think Ewan's only seen. So I've seen Daredevil.
I've seen all of Daredevil, but caveat, I've only just seen season 3. We watched, me and Rebecca, and we also got Graeme and Nat involved for a wee bit. I think
you've seen all seasons.
I've seen all seasons 1. That's correct. Yeah, I've seen every season 1, and that's it. And then Defenders obviously included in that, because only was one season. And then I've seen season 2 of Daredevil when that came out, and then in preparation for Born Again, we watched, plus Rebecca for the first time watched all of it. So that was the first time I'd even seen season 3.
Right. Yeah.
Daredevil. But then I was like, now that we know the reset and the realignments happened, that like it's going to be mission critical to see season 3. And I mean, I'm not saying like I wouldn't have, but I having seen all of Born Again, I'm really glad I did, because they do so explicitly reference characters and situations from that now.
Yes, which was not originally the case.
Which is absolutely bombastic.
It is baffling, especially. I mean, I've seen it on Twitter, so I don't know how concrete or realistic this statement is.
Some guy speaking wizards.
But the original opening scene, Born Again, I think opening might have been just the first couple, was Matt like breaking down, holding the mask, and then cut to he's just not wearing the suit anymore.
Yeah, like
without any context, anything like that. Yeah,
everything that had happened, like that we know had happened, just happened off screen.
Yes.
It does seem like a lot of that is the case. It essentially seems like, from a lot of people have pieced together things. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, like spoilers for all of this.
Yeah,
because this
we'll
is
give you that
shit we're talking
heads
about.
up.
A lot of people seem to have fully understood from both leaks and showrunner discussion that like the bare minimum was like Karen and Foggy are killed off screen.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It's a complete new, and also Fisk is there. Fisk and essentially Matt and Kingpin are the 2 carryovers, but they barely address Kingpin's situation vis-a-vis the original Daredevil, and they kind of just have Matt be sad that people that he did know at one point died off screen.
Yeah, which is
embarrassingly bad of a decision.
Literally, yes.
Like, I don't know. So the story goes that a lot of people on the team, especially Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, were like, hey guys, this fucking sucks.
Voice the concerns to Kevin Feige.
I don't even know how it got that far.
Honestly, Ewan, like this is maybe a look inside of how it's going now, MCU as a whole, in that Kevin Feige has now added a division to his thing that he looks over. So he's now got a TV thing he needs to see. So he's maybe just like let a lot of this go. He might probably need some more underlings watching this before it get. But even if they are, they're not him.
Well, yeah, we need a Kevin Feige for Marvel TV who's not Kevin Feige.
Yeah, exactly, because maybe that's why.
And also Jeff Loeb and Ike Perlmutter, none of those 3 guys.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but Jeff Loeb, he done some good work.
He wasn't awful, was he? I guess. But not Ike, though. Fuck that guy.
Well, yeah. It also comes down to hiring the right people, and hiring the 2 people originally was obviously the wrong choice.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And I don't know.
They essentially chuck those guys and get Dario back in, or did they just add Dario on top?
I think they chuck him out.
Right.
And they just get the Sauce guys in.
Yeah, Dario's the original showrunner. Dario Scarapone, I believe.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened to Bro then.
A fucking horrible pronunciation there, maybe.
Bro let it slide for some reason.
Well, no, maybe I think he was the one that was brought in if he wasn't already on it.
Oh, right, okay.
Let's do a quick Google.
Let's use
God's internet.
A joggly.
Okay, so Matt Corman and Chris Ord.
Right.
They gave the series an episodic structure and a lighter tone than Netflix. They decided to fully overhaul it, and they get Dario Scaradapane. Dario, it's an amazing name. He sounds like a mafioso.
Literally.
And then they also bring in Benson and Moorhead, who I believe did work on old stuff. They have got directorial credits and other good things.
Stuff like that.
Like the best episodes of some of the other shows.
Yeah, Loki season 2, yeah.
So they don't get rid of Corman and Ord, they just sort of
phase them out.
Yeah, they essentially get Dario to come in and redo a lot of it.
Right. Are they attached to season 2?
That is a fucking amazingly
fascinating question. I actually don't ask. Nah, they would be probably. The real question is, are they attached to season 3?
No, actually, they're not attached to season 2.
Okay, well that's good.
Interesting, yeah.
That is quite interesting.
Good and interesting.
See, because I'm thinking, obviously they'd be attached to 1 because we're still using a lot of the bones.
Well, yeah, that's I don't even think like they didn't necessarily fire them. They just said, look, you've done all you can. Yeah. Please leave the building. We're going to get Dario in. And the main changes, obviously, it's well known that they did an entirely new episode 1, episode 8, and episode 9.
It's 2 different as well, no? They just changed a bit too.
No, they just for the rest of the episodes they just cut and stitched a couple of scenes.
Right.
They re-recorded a lot of Kingpin scenes because they originally weren't able to get Eilert Zura back, who plays Vanessa.
Luckily, she was like, "Fuck this."
Well, no, apparently she just couldn't make it because of scheduling conflicts.
Oh, okay, but
so I think that one's the least hostile part. But I guess because of the rework, they were like, "Oh well, Eilert's also free. Let's fucking get that sorted."
Aye.
They also just like ADR'd and cut in any lines that they could to reference other things. You know, they'll chuck out names, like they'll chuck out like Bullseye and Agent Nadim and stuff like that. Obviously, like the added episodes bring in Bullseye a lot more.
Yeah.
Apparently Punisher a lot more than he was originally supposed to be at it as well.
Right.
I think Punisher had a really weirdly specifically done part in the original version, which was not great. John Bernthal famously like left out of his own volition at the start. He was like, I'm not really fucking with this. I don't think this is like good Punisher stuff.
Right, okay.
So when Dario came back and was like, John, this is what we're going to do about it and we'll give you a special and that, he's like, right, cool, I'm a bit more on board with this.
Right, aye. Sounds good.
And it's funny comparing it to Captain America because you think from all that it sounds like it would be like the most Frankenstein thing. I mean, they essentially paused development halfway through and slotted a bunch of extras on top.
Right.
But I think overall, at least on its own merits, first of all, I think Born Again does do very well.
Okay.
Just as on its own merits, like I think it flows quite well. They've done all the necessary work. You can obviously tell.
Yeah.
The episodes 1, 8, and 9 are the best episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're the most authentic and they have the sort of the most. Well, no, it's not that they have the most weighty dialogue. There's some good dialogue all over it, but there is just something about the feeling of those episodes.
Yeah, they have the sauce.
They have the sauce a wee bit, and then obviously it's the obvious stuff like there's like Deborah Ann Wall's in episode 1 and like 9.
Right. Yeah.
And like Bullseye's in episode 1 and like 8 and 9.
So
you're like, right, well, this is the stuff I know from the old things.
Yeah.
I really did like the other episodes of the season except 7.
I think it started stronger than it got.
I think I think the White Tiger arc was just really good. It was really good courtroom shit. It was some cool pithy dialogue, had some great concepts. I think the bank heist episode in the middle, I think it's hard for me to call it filler because stuff did happen to that was like relevant. Like the whole concept of that episode happening was based on events preceding it and leading into it because it was about Fisk's goons trying to get that money. It was part of the plot. But like if you could call it a filler, it's probably one of the best type of fillers.
Ultimately, I think that plot line isn't super essential.
The actual concept of the bank, seeing that series of events isn't. You could have just
even like the guy getting the money.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Because even at the end of the season, like it's not really resolved that he has eventually paid the money he's owed. It's just that we're now.
Well, I think it's less about that guy getting the money and more about the other guys, like sort of try to get him in line. A bit like Vanessa and Fisk reasserting their authority, especially as Fisk gets re-involved, because essentially these guys are getting pissy at Fisk.
Yeah.
Because, Fisk's back and now he's the fucking mayor. And, like, we were doing fine with, like, you, Vanessa, and now Fisk's doing his own shit. And this is, like, Fisk essentially cleaning house. He's trying to assert the money thing.
Yeah.
And then when that doesn't fall through, obviously, is it the Irish guy? He's like, right, well, fuck this. I'm not going to get the fucking money. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So they just take him out and, like, classic Kingpin. He's like, right, do you know what? Fuck you then. I'll kill you. Like, I think the bank wasn't a necessary extension.
Definitely not, no.
Like, that plot could have been developed without a whole episode for it. I just, at least, I can't call it filler because it was about stuff that was relevant to an ongoing plot line. It's not like by the way, on a random day, Daredevil stops a bank robbery.
Right, yeah.
I think it would have been cool even if it was still that, though, because it was a really good episode on itself. A bottle episode would be a better term for it.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was good to just see Daredevil do heroics.
It was fun.
It was cool.
I had a fun time watching it.
It was a fun episode. I'm not saying
and you know what? I can't even knock it because I don't need it to be. I don't need everything to be super essential.
Well, it's true. You can have a good, slower paced, like bottle time episode. It's never going to be the best of the best. I think some people were saying it's the best episode of the season. No, it's not.
That's lies.
But it's not the worst of the season, and it's not inherently
definitely
a bad episode. It's just like a good separate thing.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm okay with that one.
The Muse 2-parter, which was set up very well.
Total ass.
It was not delivered on very well. What is that about those episodes that aren't great? I think it is the quick sort of unraveling of Muse. Like, he gets set up as quite a mysterious, malicious figure in the first episode, and then they very rapidly just go, this is actually who he is. This is, like, by the way, he's a fucking crazy person. We have one confrontation with him and it's over with. For now, season 2 settling's pending.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
I feel like they kind of just felt like they had to get past Muse. And this is the problem.
I guess.
This seems to have been a mostly original cut, so it wasn't even like a Dario edition. It seems like even the original show was like, we're gonna like fucking hurry up past Muse.
He's the villain this week. Like,
literally.
Get to the next one.
Like, Muse as a villain of the week is not a good idea. Muse is a really cool villain. And
any of the villains in all of Marvel are a bad idea for that, really.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't need a fucking entire season where Stiltman's the villain.
I guess, right, to an extent.
I'd take it.
Yeah, but Muse isn't that guy.
Yeah, Muse is a methodical and deranged serial killer with exceptionally bizarre motives.
Powers going on there.
If Jessica Jones gets given Muse, that's a full season.
Aye.
Pretty sure Jessica Jones did fight, like, not Muse, but like
the
season 3 Jessica Jones is just like a serial killer man.
Bro,
there
we go. Investigating. Let's go.
I feel like they rushed it too quickly, and yet somehow
I do think so. And I think, in rushing Muse, they ultimately damage Heather's character.
Yes.
Which is actually quite sad.
So before we actually get to the finale, like... So, right, okay, well, I mean, let's go into the whole there.
Back up a bit.
Yeah, let's look at... So, the Born Again, let's look at the whole... Well, I mean, starting with the Netflix Daredevil, so...
Okay.
These 3 seasons are very good. They're very good.
They are very good, Ewan, yes. This is true.
A deeply serious take on multiple characters, especially obviously the lead villain and lead protagonist and lead antagonist.
Yes.
It gives them multiple, multifaceted, layered depths and constant time. I mean, it takes full advantage of being a TV show because you're just constantly with characters talking about things and having opinions.
39 hours roughly.
There's
crispy content.
39 hours of crispy content. The supporting cast of Daredevil is equally as good. So main character Charlie Cox Daredevil, and then like Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin villain. That comes and goes. Obviously, season 2 has got ninjas, which
Kingpin's less in it, but he's in it.
He's still in it. He still has a massive influence.
Yes.
The ninja shit, famously,
Ewan hates.
I could take or leave,
but is famously integral.
After rewatching it, it's actually not that bad.
Bro, it's
I like to joke about hating the ninja shit.
Yeah.
It just enthuses me less than the other story for season 2, which was John Bernthal Punisher. Which is so fucking peaked.
Yeah, it's
so good.
And we just hit that out the gate.
Literally, we go through as much of the Punisher, and then it's like, by the way, now it's time to talk about the ninjas. And I'm like, not the fucking ninjas, bro.
Shit, man.
Although that was also Elodie and Elektra.
Yes.
Also goated and peaked and chatted and amazing.
I thought she was quite good.
Yeah. Now you get 2 best friends. You've got Deborah Ann Wall as Karen Page and Eldon Henson as Foggy Nelson. So beautiful cast, very layered textual. They constantly approach everything in different facets. Karen's constantly hinted at like troubled past and her constantly towing the line between like she living in a sort of a darker world.
Yes.
And then the bad things she has had to do. Foggy's consistent attempt to stay like the light of the group and like the positive energy,
the
and
heart,
advocate for like the rule of law as well.
Yeah.
Matt's constant debate,
push and pull
between like how dark do I go? Could I cross the line to killing?
Of course not. Please no.
His relationship with the law and his relationship with God.
Yes.
And that sort of comes and goes. I mean, season 3, for example, has got a big thing about him losing his faith and then getting it back.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So again, 3 beautiful back-to-back. We said before we recorded we're not going to summarise them because we'd be here forever. But season 1 is that basic Daredevil coming into his own, not even with a suit, just going out, beating up Kingpin, struggling to understand like how to really end this.
It's finding his feet.
Like debating killing and that, and then the rise of Kingpin is like this large, overwhelming criminal force. Then season 2, as I say, is about the Punisher. Again, that challenge of like should we kill villains or not? You know, then the ninjas show up.
Then the ninjas show up.
What was the point? Okay, there's the thing.
They want Elektra.
No, that's what happens in the plot.
Yeah.
What was the emotional core and through line about the ninjas? I mean, Matt and
just to have
Elektra. Matt and Elektra's the core, I guess, because Elektra, again, as Matt's lover, represents darkness. She advocates for like more violence, and then it's about the push and pull of her trying to get Matt to be more like that, but then consequently Matt trying to get her to be more good.
And they do eventually, in the end, come to that middle ground agreement, but it is too late.
It's too late, yeah.
Unfortunately.
We lose Elektra to the ninjas, and then we have the Defenders, where the ninjas,
Hand are back.
The Hand are back. So the ninjas are called the Hand. I should say that. You know this if you know Daredevil. The Hand are back. They can make people alive again from the dead.
Yes, they're going to sacrifice to resurrect Elektra.
Yeah, they bring back Elektra.
Famously.
The Black Sky to kill people really good.
Yep.
Matt doesn't quite assemble, but he accidentally stumbles into sort of a coalition of other
kind of
characters. He's
the one that plays with the other characters the least in his series. Series I.
Even in that series, he's the most likely to be like, ninja shit's my shit.
I'm pretty sure.
You guys get involved.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when they all meet, it's like the first time he's met them all.
Yeah.
But Jessica's obviously met Luke. Luke's obviously met Iron Fist.
No, Luke doesn't know Iron Fist, but they all know Rosario Dawson's Night Nurse.
Of course they all know.
All of them know that one. Misty Knight. Luke knows Misty Knight.
Yes. And hold up.
Oh.
Iron Fist knows the cop, the guy who's also like with Misty a lot of the time.
Detective Brett Mahoney?
No, that's in Daredevil, the other guy, the white guy, who's like a little scrawny.
The scrawny white policeman? I have no fucking clue who you're talking about.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure Iron Fist knows
There's
him.
a scrawny white policeman
He's
too.
in Iron Fist, I'm sure.
But there's a lot more crossover, except Daredevil, who's like, no, I am myself. I fight ninjas. Don't talk to me.
That's it. Yeah, I'm just doing me. Catch you later.
But they all sort of are forced to team up when they realise the scope of this grand scheme the Hand have to like level New York to suck up dragon bones for their resurrection juice.
Yes, the souls.
Matt and Elektra. Matt's like, I can bring her back. I can bring her back to the good side, and he seemingly does, but they both get crushed by a building.
It's true. Leading us swiftly into season 3.
Season 3, where Matt survives being crushed by a building.
Yeah.
By the power of nuns.
Yes.
But I mean, I joke, it's fine actually. I mean, he's very badly wounded, and that affects him for a good part of the season.
Quite resilient.
And then the Kingpin, who I say, Kingpin was in season 2. He was manipulating stuff for prison at the end of season 1. Leading into season 3, he's now attempting his grand comeback.
Yes.
He's got a plan now to infiltrate the FBI and essentially like take over from official means.
Goes swiftly.
It goes shockingly well until that rapscallion Daredevil gets involved. Also, there's an FBI man who stalks people and can hit things really good.
Can't miss, bro. Can't miss.
Cannot miss. Benjamin Poindexter. What a hero of the people.
Great guy.
By the people, I mean no hero at all.
The villains.
The villain. So, 3 seasons of this. Very deep,
peak
emotional,
cinema.
methodical. So, when they come to Born Again, so, I mean, season 3 ends and, like, Kingpin's going back to prison. Bullseye is, like, getting surgery done because he broke his back and he might be going to prison, but he's there. Or Bullseye might come back. And Daredevil's a bit more triumphant. He didn't let Kingpin break him.
Finally.
He beats Kingpin.
He has won.
Without killing him, and it's like a ultimate victory. All of his friends have been through up and downs, trying to, like, live with Matt's secrets, and now they all understand each other. They're all unified.
We've agreed a stalemate of a type.
Yes. Kingpin
Fist
and
cannot
Daredevil
come back and be that guy anymore.
Otherwise, fucking Daredevil will go after his missus because he does get married to Vanessa. Kingpin has a lover, little Vanessa,
lover boy,
who fucking loves crime. Even in like even as early as season 1, Vanessa's like, I actually could just get involved with crime if you like me.
I'm actually just fine with it.
I'm like, based chat.
Okay.
Kingpin's
Cool.
like, Vanessa. I was trying to figure out when I was going to do a voice. Like,
oh my, when I was a boy.
Like, you embarrassed me. I love him.
Who doesn't?
Vincent D'Onofrio was amazing as Kingpin. He's so good. He's so rageful and so barely controlled. Like, fucking, he does look like he will just crush a man's head at any moment, and he has done multiple times.
Yes, I think he will again.
He probably will again. Yeah. Where was I going with that? Right, so you come out season 3 and then everything gets cancelled. Netflix goes away, and then they're like, we're going to do a reboot. So
yes.
They come to this first thinking we're not
hype
going
is
to
high.
just... Yeah, the hype is high, first of all. First of all, you get the spread out. Charlie Cox pops up in fucking Spider-Man.
We're back.
You're like, whoa. Like,
what's he
Vincent
doing
D'Onofrio pops up in Hawkeye. You're like, whoa, what are you doing there?
Excuse me?
And then they're like, yeah, we're going to do it, bro. We're here. We're doing it. Like, Daredevil's coming back. It's got these 2 bastard boys that you love so much.
Yep.
And then
we're doing it
again. We get to this point where they seemingly were like, we're just going to do a soft reboot, which was, as we've discussed, a bad
scary,
idea.
yeah, not something we wanted.
From what we've heard from leaks and all that, they kill Foggy and Karen off stage, and they seem to just abandon a bunch of his other like supporting cast. Like nothing said about, and this is also true of the real show. Nothing said of the Staff Sergeant Detective Brett Mahoney, the chaddest police officer in the NYPD.
He's not appeared.
I don't think we could have him in this arc. Maybe we could see a good cop, but on the other hand, I'm like, we're dealing with like corrupt, like super bad cops.
And
so
I guess he's not.
There's a good cop over there.
He's not the commissioner yet.
He's not the commissioner yet. Plus, I mean, if you want to give it some truth, he's like of the Hell's Kitchen department, and we're not in Hell's Kitchen anymore.
We're in New York.
So we're in like
proper
Greater New York,
everywhere,
the Bronx, you know.
But we're still in Hell's Kitchen
Midtown.
a bit.
But I'll pop in and out. We always got to go home.
True.
They do not address his mother, who we meet in season 3, who seemed to at the end of season 3 was like promising to be a supporting character.
Yes, but I think like Matt doesn't go to church in this.
Well, that was kind of one of the things I was going to lead into. Yeah, one of the fundamental changes was one completely new supporting cast. And this is going to. I promise we're looping back around because this is the whole point when you started about mentioning Heather. And the other one is sort of the episodes. You can see this in the episodes that aren't made by Dario. That there's a sort of a lean away from some of the other conventions of the original show.
Right.
There's still like edgy action scenes and like serious dialogue, but I think the biggest shift, at least in the first half, is much heavier leaning into the lawyer side. I feel like the Trial of the White Tiger arc is like probably I feel like some of the most legal focused it's been. Not quite better, like more legal focused than others, but just like it's one of the most solid blocks of just Matt in a courtroom, Matt like getting evidence and like Matt like talking to lawyers about lawyer shit. Like, we have the motion to dismiss this form of evidence, and it's like, well, I'm going to actually use this form of evidence as a sort of a reverse play, and then we're going to appeal to the jury on this one. Plus, there's not like half of the court scenes, but I'd say most of the court scenes in the original Daredevil was like, it doesn't matter because the judge was paid off or the jury was paid off or like we killed the star witness. Technically, they fucked the star witness in this one, but like it's not like the be all and the end all of it. And there's not much religion at all. Now, the supporting characters is the bigger discussion point, I think. But the religion thing, I don't sweat the loss of it because I don't think it's lost forever.
No, it's not. But it shouldn't be.
What do you feel about it not being in Born Again? Do you feel like it was absent in a negative way, or like do you feel like you could feel its absence?
I don't know.
Like there should have been religious stuff here.
I could see. I was like, man, he's not been there yet.
Why has he not been to church?
Yeah, literally. But I think there's a valid reason for it. Even like he's obviously dealing still with Foggy a year on.
Yeah, so I mean, so the main lead in is that even despite the rumours, they did kill Foggy.
They did still milk the
boy. Even in the new episode 1, Bullseye kills Foggy Nelson. Sorry? Question mark. Read comics.
Did they kill him?
Have you read a comic book?
I don't know.
You know.
So that's the main like crux of the plot, I guess.
Yeah, that's like he Foggy's killed and Matt accidentally or kind of deliberately
deliberately.
I mean, I don't know if
he wants to.
Would you call that like he tries to?
He wants to kill
kills,
him.
In all intents and purposes, he goes to kill Bullseye.
He does, yeah, he wants to.
Right, okay.
100% wants to.
To me, it's a bit like it's different from him grabbing a gun and going bang, 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 bang. He has Bullseye in a headlock and he pushed them off a building. I think he's a bit like, if this kills you, I'm happy to have let you die at that point.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is still too much for him, so he's...
It is, but he deals with it better than he would have because he's dealt with season 3.
Well, yeah.
So he's been through, or 2, and he's been through, like, that question already. Like, can I do it? I shouldn't do it. But he's pushed to such a point by Bullseye that he's just like, I'm done, I don't care.
If it happens, fuck this shit. Like, why am I even bothering anymore? And he gives up being Daredevil as always. Matt's first response.
Yeah, because of that.
Foggy's heart is dead. So we jump it's like a year or something. It's
a year on, period. And he's still dealing with it. He's still got the wee pamphlet from the wake of the funeral. And he
does pray. He does,
but Heather's like, do you still pray? And he's like, sometimes, I'm still getting back to it.
So I think as long as these religions
it will always be there, but yes, I don't think...
I think that's the capstone.
I don't think he's quite... And obviously, like, I don't know how long is between 3 and Born Again, but he suffered the loss of Father Lantham and that.
He did, yeah.
So I don't know, like, is the new Father Abam?
Also the most
does he like him?
Supporting characters.
Exactly.
He's his favourite priest. I also, do you know what? Critically important to quickly mention is that like season 1 and 2 of Born Again are essentially one season. Like there was originally planned to be one continuous 18 episode
which
season.
I find it quite weird that they're not attached to 2 then, but also gives me hope because they're the bad ones.
Yeah, no, 100% that. Like in my head, presumably they had.
Yeah, unless they have genuinely reworked all of 2.
Well, in my head they must have had a plan, but like
for
when they got so far into 1 and everyone realised it was shit.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I feel like the rework didn't take that long.
Well, that's why I think Born Again season 1 is quite middling, is because that a lot of it is still the old stuff, and they're struggling to deal with that and mesh in the new take that they are doing.
I don't think they struggle. I think they do it decently well.
I think they do it decently well, but not as well as 1 and 9. You know.
Well, yeah. I just
so if what I'm saying
are just better episodes.
Yeah, what I'm saying if 1, 8, and 9 was all that, well, the whole season was that, we would be talking about a different show.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So, and I think them butting heads is where a lot of the critique would be.
Okay.
Like, oh, we can do this better, we can do that better.
I think that's rational. And that does fairly get back to the original point. One of the most easily critiquable things about Born Again, and as a consequence of the reboot idea and the original style episodes, is the sort of the general supporting situation around Matt and Kingpin, I guess. Although I actually think Kingpin beats the allegations in this front.
He's come out the winner.
Yeah, definitely. It's essentially, first off, we're pushed into new situations, right? Where Matt is met up with an old lawyer friend, comic character Kirsten McDuffie, and they've started like an actual professional firm, just with a bit over a positive edge.
Top tier law firm.
Because they're like, mate, like he's like, well, fuck, I'm going to stick in because this is what me and Foggy would do. But like Kirsten's got connections or something.
They also take on BAMs.
Yeah,
so
they do a bit more financial stuff. But Matt's a bit like, well, do you know what? I've not got Foggy anymore.
It's fine, I guess.
Do this.
Yeah.
I'll just try and be a good guy about it.
Yeah.
Matt
is
his
friend too,
being informed by a police officer, a former police officer who might be a police officer again.
Fucking Cherry.
Called Cherry.
Him.
That's a character in Daredevil Born Again.
People don't like Cherry, guys.
Don't know if I particularly have an opinion about him.
I don't know
He's definitely a character present in the show.
He's in the show.
He's not Detective Brett Mahoney.
He's no one ever will be, you know. like
I don't see why you needed to have.
He's not Agent Rainy Deem either.
He's not fucking Agent Rainy Deem. He's not even Agent. He's fucking Special Agent Dina Madani. Like, come the fuck on.
Bro. Like, damn.
And what else? He's set up with a new love interest, psychologist called Dr. Heather Glenn,
who's an actual character in the show, as opposed to in the comic books.
Is she at least a named comic character though?
She is. She's
Cherry in the comics, first of all.
I don't think so.
Okay.
She's Daredevil love interest X or whatever, you know, whatever number we're at.
Various unnamed Daredevil characters.
In the comics, she's in the Frank Miller run a lot, but it's mainly as plot device, like.
Character for Daredevil to save or agonise about.
Kind of. She's her father passed away and she owns Glen Industries, some sort of conglomerate, right?
She's an industrialist.
Yeah, and the board are trying to get her to sell it so they can do nefarious activities. But
fingers. Oh, excellent.
Yes, and that comes and goes whatever as a plot thread, sort of B-side to the rest of the things happening in the run.
All of the other things going
and she's constantly like, oh, Matt doesn't love me, and Matt really doesn't, to be honest.
She's right.
Yeah, he's gallivanting with Black Widow. Elektra shows up, and then he spontaneously proposes to her because he feels a need to. He feels like a pull to do it, just because that's what you do, I suppose. And that obviously
does not
fucking
work well.
fails terribly. Yeah,
that backfires.
So she's really just like, she's in danger of being like fridged in the comics, like that kind of thing.
Right.
So she's an actual character for like 3 episodes in this show, which is very nice to see.
But those 3 episodes. 2 of them are the episodes made by the later showrunners. I will say I think they were the problem as well. These supporting characters, I didn't hate them. There just wasn't enough to them.
Well, she had promise, and to be honest, I was really enjoying the performance and the chemistry. And
I think
she was going until the Muse stuff. She was where she had to be so far.
I think so too.
You know,
I think Heather was probably the best as a love interest. At least because she gets a bit more time and a bit more personal time.
Yeah.
Kirsten's nice, but it's just Matt's friend who is constantly stressed about it. Well, essentially, people are like, everyone was just another character. Heather is Karen, Kirsten is Foggy, Cherry is Detective Brett Mahoney.
Right.
Like, Cherry, I think I do hate Cherry. It's like, we just need a guy to come in and scowl at Matt, and then he just comes in and he's like, Matt, I'm not happy about this, and then he leaves the scene. So yeah, I kind of don't like Cherry. Kirsten's like fine. I think what's interesting is how they reframed them because they also originally were just there. Episode 1 was entirely brand new. So the whole scene at Foggy's where we just get a bit of an introduction, like here's Kirsten, she's a more serious lawyer friend of Matt and Foggy's, and then they kind of use like that going forward. It's like, oh well, Matt and Kirsten went in together because they both actually really like Foggy, and
they were also friendly. Yeah,
I'm like, cool. How would I have felt if we just didn't have that?
Yeah, that'd have been weird. Like, who's this lawyer lady that he's partners with? That seems like a big deal and a big relationship you'd want to explore.
Cherry was also in episode 1.
He was, and he was retiring.
He was dead. That was why they were all
but
there.
They must be cool because they're at Josie's, do you know?
He was at Josie's. Josie's back. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if... So Cherry finds out Matt's Daredevil in episode 1. He stumbles onto the roof while Matt pulls off his mask and lets it fall because he's just in such a shock. And Cherry sees that and is like, oh, fuck it, Matt's Daredevil.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows that in the original. Again, if he does, it's even stranger because it's like, hi, my name's Cherry. I'm a policeman that knows Matt's Daredevil somehow. And I'm like, I thought Matt went to meticulous lengths to not have him. They know he was Daredevil in the originals, and now there's just a guy who knows.
You know, very contrary to the comics as well.
Was he just telling everybody?
Everyone fucking knows he's Daredevil, basically.
Mate, if we somehow are able to twist this so that I can get Charlie Cox with a jumper on,
we could eventually get there. I feel like we're definitely going that route.
I was convinced that Kingpin would tell everybody that Matt was Daredevil at the end of this.
I think that's not outside the realm of possibility for future seasons.
We're towing it because okay, I'm jumping forward a bit rapidly, and again, we're not fully summarising, but like
we're going about, you know,
like he doesn't necessarily tell the world that Matt's Daredevil, but he sends the anti-vigilante task force to his house.
Yes.
So I'm like, did he say, by the way, like, you guys, just so you secretly know, or he was like, Daredevil has been spotted at this home?
That's more likely, I think.
I think so as well.
And I mean, did he give that order? Did Buck give that order? Because Buck's clearly aware that he's Daredevil.
Yes. Buck does know. Buck,
we don't know.
But we'll get back to Kingpin, but there's another one. Buck is just Wesley.
Yeah.
At the start.
And I'm fine with that because I feel like you always...
He's a guy.
Aye, and it was Bullseye in 3 to an extent. But
Bullseye and the fucking lawyer.
Yeah, but he was sort of locked down, so he couldn't really do a lot. He was in one building the whole time.
Exactly right.
Having a Wesley's like nice, he can like extend Fisk as like a proxy throughout
especially
the rest of the...
Fisk's like whole thing now, trying to be the mayor. We'll wrap Daredevil because Fisk is like a whole other thing and I love talking about that. Yeah, so Heather starts off quite strong, but then, so you get to the Muse arc. So the biggest issue...
Yeah,
okay, again, I'll repeat, not even the Muse arc, the second Muse episode. I think the first one was good. I thought it was...
The first, because she's not really in the first episode.
She's not super in it. We know that she's got problems going on. Heather becomes Kingpin and Vanessa's therapist.
Yeah, like marriage counsellor.
Marriage counsellor, yeah. Which is, I think, was an amazing wee development. I'm like, that's
very nice.
Spicy.
I like that we plot twist.
Do you think some in the later episodes Matt insisted that the Kingpin did that to get to Matt?
It does, and that's maybe a bit delusional, but also...
Do you think he said that Kingpin could do that?
Facts, and do you know what? That's perfect play by Kingpin because he's aware that Matt will think that, and he's aware that will distance him from Heather because she'll think you're a psycho, bro.
Literally that.
Like, he's just played it perfectly.
So, like, there's so many ways to go about it.
And he does actually genuinely want the counselling.
Yeah. Like, he needs that. He actually does need that counselling. So, again, this is evidence that the fucking...
Like, someone actually cooked here.
Someone was cooking it, and this was a Dario episode that this gets brought up in. But then it was a non-Dario episode that the marriage counselling happened. So, is the marriage counselling completely new, or is that... Like,
is it not at the end of episode 1?
Sorry?
Is it not at the end of episode 1? Or is it end of episode 2 that happens? I think 1 and 2 are new.
2's not new.
But bits of 2 are new.
Bits of new are 2. Bits of every episode are new.
So that might be
the only brand new ones
bit.
are 1, 8 and 9.
Right.
So you're right. I think the marriage counselling is literally as early as episode 1. But like it's throughout the whole season. And remember, there was an original episode 1, kind of.
Right, okay.
I think 2 was kind of supposed to be 1, but they had to rejig some stuff. That's also probably why 2 might feel the most.
Right.
Because they had to do some jigging. Some sort of jigging has occurred.
Ooh, some rejigs.
I mean, that's is it maybe too good of an idea to credit to...
I don't want to say yes, but evidence would suggest.
Evidence would suggest. Yeah, so the first Muse episode is a lot of good setup. A lot, like, there's a fucking creepy serial killer. He's using fucking blood to paint stuff. He's deeply troubling, unrelated We also know that Heather's got a creepy guy who's like a fucking...
Yeah, that was planted early doors.
That was planted early doors.
And
that might have even been brand new.
Yeah, and she's got this crusade. Her next book will be on the mask.
Yeah, she's
the
going
vigilante
off
mask.
She doesn't like Daredevil. She's like fucking...
Well, I don't know.
No, she doesn't like Daredevil.
I think she doesn't like him after Muse.
No, but she's
beforehand
as well.
But I don't think... I think it's maybe just... Well, this is also like an interesting take as well, in that... Well, we get to that when we get to more characters, I guess, but like... The perception of Daredevil outside of our sphere. So, like, what does
the people in the MCU think of Daredevil?
Exactly. This is like a nice insight, which I would like to explore.
Mm-hmm.
So, Heather, write the book. Please don't write it biased, though. And tell us about it when you're, like, in the episode.
Biased. Did you see the ending of Daredevil Born in Season 1?
We will see. Maybe developments will happen.
Maybe.
So, that's, like, really interesting stuff. I would like to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And having... That's also good because, obviously, Matt's Daredevil. So, he needs to deal with that somehow. Yes. His girlfriend now hates him.
Well, according to Dario Scarad Payne, as of Born Again Season 2, it's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Sorry, guys.
And I'm fine with that as well. But, like, I like her...
The drama is there.
I'm more attached to her than I ever was in the comics because she's an actual character.
A person with feelings about stuff.
Yeah, and I'm interested.
It's just... So, specifically just in the second Muse episode, as I say, they just accelerate through any Muse stuff.
They do.
By the way, Muse was the guy that Heather was saying, I knew this. I knew this for a while because I knew that... Well, okay,
isn't that his first session? I think that's his first session.
It's the first session we see?
I think it's his first.
No.
Because when they introduce him... Okay.
Doing stuff. Because they introduce him going to see her and talk about therapy
and
very
get the book
early.
Signed. Yeah.
And we don't see like the fruits that's seven. And they talk about like other... I'm sure they talk about having done other things before.
I was under the impression it was the first one, but it might not be. That's fine. That's inconsequential.
Long, at least,
yeah, definitely.
I didn't know that the actor Hunter Doohan was playing
Muse. Right.
But I did watch Wednesday Season 1, where he also plays a skittish little man who is actually hiding a violent and evil secret.
Right.
So he's got a type.
I called that as soon as I saw him at the book signing. I was like, that's just who that is, isn't it?
I don't know if I was like, necessarily, I think, what did I call it as Muse? Because I was like, well, this is a character who's very obviously unhinged. Yeah. And
why would you show me this?
Like, who do I know coming up that's probably going to be a bit weirdo? Probably Muse.
Yeah, fair.
Like,
right. Give you that.
So yeah, no, they just accelerate through him having like a backstory in a character.
Yeah.
And I don't even really think they give him a motivation. He's just seemingly a nutter.
He just wants to be an artist, and his way of doing that is to murder people and paint with their blood.
Yep.
Which is, as a psychopath goes, a cool explanation, you know?
It's true. I just kind of wish that, like why?
Well, my understanding is...
in a room with like a therapist, a psychologist, and we don't understand why Muse is doing it.
There's literally two versions of this episode, right? There is the one we got, and then there's the one that's written by either the team that wrote the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, or maybe the guys that done the last couple episodes. In that, Daredevil doesn't show up, or shows up right at the end, and it's actually Heather that defeats Muse. By actually therapizing them a wee bit.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, that would have been really cool to see.
In a Netflix Daredevil,
literally,
Heather talks him down and then Daredevil shows up. And
that would have been fire.
Grumpiness. Maybe she talks him down and disarms him, but then Daredevil comes in and fucking hits him with a club.
Yeah.
She's like, dude, fuck you. Why'd you hit with a club?
It was literally unnecessary.
Because, I mean, a lot of the talking points are that, so Daredevil shows up to save Heather. They have a big, cool fight. A lot of the fights are all really good in this.
I think so. I think that there's a bit too much CGI at points.
Yeah.
That I can tell quite obviously.
Again, I do think, other than episode 1,
episode
1, which was a new one, had a bit of CGI scenes, like the bit where he's like run to get bullseye and that. Like, I could see it. Sometimes during the old new stuff as opposed to the new stuff.
Like, I can tell there's a lot less like cutting and like the new guys doing it because they're doing the old stuff basically. And everything new or everything old.
The funny thing was that they didn't originally have the original stunt coordinator. I think we talked this in the podcast, which is like how'd you manage that?
Like
who made that decision? Like
nobody.
So the question is, was all of the stuff from the new episode specifically done with the old stunt coordinator, or did they get him in at a different time than the whole rework?
I don't know.
So,
but even if you did, the way you shoot it, like it's a lot more pushed in. There's a lot more cuts in the old new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me before the rework?
Yeah.
You can feel it. There's a difference with it.
I think I agree with you on that one actually. Like Heather is eventually forced to shoot Muse.
Yeah. Rip Muse, I guess.
Muse seemingly dies.
And I want to say,
R.I.P.
I don't know Muse. as a character.
I'm not familiar with him.
I'm not familiar with his game. It's Charles Soule Comics.
It's Charles Soule's Daredevil. So
I mean, streets say bro's got some fire powers.
Yeah,
literally,
in the comics he's like the Vonator or something.
Bro, literally
like,
never explained.
He's got like super speed.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
just the guy that kills you.
He's also like, and he also like comes back from hell. I think he's like Jason at what point.
See, I'd like to see that, and hopefully that's what we get.
Again, according to like public announcements of like, by the way, Hunter Doohan is back for season 2. We're like,
okay, I'll keep an eye out. I'll see.
I will say, if Born Again season 2 is like. Also, side note to the whole first thing, Mutas came back from hell.
Yeah, that's a different. We're talking about. But listen, there's a curfew. Like people, they can put that on the news after. Like no one will see it. It'll be fine. Sorry.
I just think it's more thinking like Daredevil as a lawyer fighting like organised crime and also a demon man from hell.
Have you seen the Twitter threads and it's like tweet like you're in the MCU and it's like I've seen one today and it was Martin Freeman for Black Panther. And it's his face in the poster, and he's just like looking like, whoa, a bit confused. And it's seen my mutant co-worker at the Dazzler concert.
I keep seeing the one that's like, dog, the Hulk through my car.
Bro, literally.
And it missed.
So funny, man.
He went fucking insurance time for this.
So good.
Dog, my friends get turned to a shadow by the century.
Bro.
What's Kingpin's policy on
can I
getting turned into shadow?
Can I claim that on my insurance or what? Act of God? Like what's happening?
What's Kingpin doing about that? I hope Vincent D'Onofrio's in.
Oh my God.
I hope he's just like, I don't fucking know what to do about this. Like,
that's what Wonder Man needs to be.
Wonder Man?
Yeah, because he's just like a guy, isn't he? Like
that's
just
like
what we need.
Yeah.
We just need shit like that
happening. I think this version of Wonder Man they're doing is very like Booster Gold coded.
I'm down for that. That sounds
funny.
He's
like separate from his powers and superheroisms. He's just like a guy.
I'm fine with that. That sounds like I could get on board with that.
It could be fun. I'm excited for Wonder Man.
Bro.
Oh God, what we're talking about? Right, yes.
News fully derailed you there.
What was the point though? So what is it about that capitulation of the Muse arc that really gets you? Is it what it said that like they kind of just neck it too quickly and they don't resolve it in a meaningful way? Just Daredevil punches, Heather shoots him and then is angry at Daredevil about it.
Literally, like Heather, I feel like at that point this is like the conversion fork in the road because she can go one or two ways. Either like she'll be a character I like or a character I don't.
But then it's like for good reasons or bad reasons, because here's the thing, I think Dario has threatened to salvage it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's threatening to turn it into something interesting.
And please do.
And it's like there's a difference between a character I don't like because they're a bad character or a character I don't like because you're supposed to not like them.
Yeah, Kingpin, example.
I don't like Kingpin because he's the baddie.
But God, I love him.
Oh, but you love him though.
Yeah, Muse as a villain, like I feel like should be more explored than that.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He is just like taken off the board because that's what we need to do this episode, I suppose.
Yeah, like this is that's the villain of the week type stuff.
Yeah, that's literally the main issue with it, and the fact that we're setting Heather against Daredevil, sort of what would you say, like superficially almost.
Are you talking like in the original episode, like?
Aye, in the one we got.
Yeah,
because
it's artificial.
It feels like I'm gonna hate you because you forced me to kill someone. Like that's not something I wanted to do.
Yeah,
you put me in this position. You saved my life, but I don't like it.
Like, and if you that theoretical cut you mentioned, like imagine Heather resolving that, like attempting to resolve this problem from her perspective and using her like brains for it, and like Daredevil representing like she claims Daredevil's just as bad because he represents like unchecked fucking rampant vigilantism and taking a lot of your hands. And I'm like, well, Daredevil like saved you from a psycho killer.
True.
Like, and then if this was more of a Daredevil threatened to have made the situation worse. Like in the episode we got, Daredevil did emphatically save her from a psycho killer.
True.
But like if there was a version of this where like Heather gets to approach it from her way, and Daredevil sort of gets involved with that,
I would have loved to have seen that.
I
think that's a much better episode.
That's what Dario does. I don't want to deify the guy, but we have to imagine that's what Dario does.
Yeah, that can't have been a conversation they had, right? Because I mean, I'm dumb, right? And I've come up with that idea. So
I wouldn't say you're dumb,
but
like
I don't get paid big bucks.
Out such a deep idea like that. It's clearly all the information's there to draw such a powerful conclusion. So how did you not fucking draw that same conclusion?
Literally,
people making the show.
Surely they thought that out. But this is like going to the other point I was making a wee bit earlier. Like, what's the outside consensus on Daredevil as like a concept, as a thing that exists in our world? And BB reports, slide that in. Good way we could have done that.
I forgot to mention that Ben Urich's not in this, but because he's dead, obviously. Spoilers.
Yeah, rip.
But his niece.
I think it's his niece, not his daughter.
Not his daughter.
Definitely not his daughter.
Not his daughter. BB Urich is in this as like a street reporter.
And I quite like that.
Interstitials constantly. Yeah. Like, what do people think about New York? Some people are like, I think that's dumb and takes me out of it. I thought, shut your mouth.
Exactly the opposite, yeah, literally.
I
because
love seeing just people in New York talking about the situations.
We're contextualised it all.
Like, what world? Are we not constantly begging to understand that this is street level? You want to know what street level is? What does fucking Joe Sixpack think of like fucking Mayor Fisk's like fucking policies?
Literally. And they all seem on board. He gets shit done.
Shockingly too many people like Mayor Fisk, and God, this is touching more on his stuff, so I'll but it's upsetting how like Mayor Fisk conceptually should not work, but
bro, you see it
compared to the real world. I look at the window and I'm like,
bro, I want the pothole fixed, eh? Like, come on, man.
Like, it doesn't matter if the guy doing it's like unknown. Like if Al Capone showed up and fucking like fixed a bottle, like would you be like, well he did fix the bottle and the fucking police never got that for me? It doesn't matter that Al Capone's killed 700 people. Like,
damn it, he's got my vote.
He's got my vote. God damn it. I'm with Fisk. What was the MAGA hats that they all had? Something like that.
Yeah. And that's like, I want to explore that more. So I hope when we get to season 2, like, we're not just brushing Heather away. She can't be, right? Like, surely not.
Well, what the ending implies, I
think at the end there, Fisk's assembling his team, kind of. Like, he's got Buck on side, obviously. He's got fucking Gandolfini.
Yeah,
whatever his name is.
His name again?
We've got him on board, obviously. He's like in. He's the new Wesley after Buck. And I think he's going to chuck the other assistant lady away.
Daniel Blake.
Blake Tower?
Oh,
jokes.
Pause.
And he's going to get Heather in, as I'm guessing, to be, like, if we need to go after a vigilante, she could be like, this is a total cop, right? Because this isn't what they're going to do, obviously.
Sorry, are you theorising here?
Yeah.
You're like
if they need to go after a vigilante who's like who's liked by the public, she can be like psychological. This is actually why we need to do it. He's a fucking crackpot. We need to kill him.
She can be like the public justification.
Literally, that's what I'm thinking.
Because do you know what? I do want to explore that, because I feel like too much of all of Daredevil, even the Netflix stuff, was about people being made to think about Daredevil women, but then we never actually see a lot of people reckoning with the honesty, the real nature of Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at least once a season there's a moment where it's like the public are artificially made to have a reason to not like Daredevil.
Right.
And I'm like, I need a moment where the public see Daredevil as like just an out and out hero. I feel like towards the end of season 1, start season 2, that's probably one of the best periods for it, because you're like, just like Kingpin's been beat, like Daredevil's just recognised to be a guy who does seem to be about and helping people and isn't that bad.
The police are okay with him, Mahoney. He's like pals with him, but
he gets
that's about it.
He's like, I recognise, we're not quite Batman and Commissioner Gordon, but
game
like,
respects game.
Yes, game does respect game.
Literally.
Yeah, I think we'll swing back around to the other stuff then, because I think we'll talk about the Kingpin side, and then we'll talk about the finale and like the sort of what's going forward.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm trying to think, is there anything else with Madison? I mean, like, so essentially because the wrap up of like the Heather stuff leads to her like hating like Daredevil more and hating masks, and then
essentially at the end of that Muse episode, that's her character till the end of the season. Yeah, like, she doesn't really develop her
negative tilt, and also she's like getting a bit sick of Matt shit.
Which makes sense.
Well, yeah, that one's fair. You know, any person who knows Matt who doesn't know about Daredevil just has carte blanche to like just not fucking annoyed with Matt.
Can't blame me.
I think that's maybe every beat to hit on the air. Like you mentioned BB, although BB's I'd even argue more of a Kingpin character.
Definitely, she's angling that way, you know.
Well, yeah, so the Kingpin. Beef. So Kingpin's fascinating because he already has had a character arc.
Bro, completed, sent to the moon, and then back again. Like,
literally.
Oh my.
But like also he's had post Netflix character development.
True.
Like Daredevil's just been there. Like Charlie Cox just showed up.
And we see his development, or we see what leads to his development in the first episode.
Well, that too, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like Fisk is fully gone.
He's like off the deep end. You've got Hawkeye, where Fisk is like essentially going off of what we knew in Hawkeye. It was like somehow he's out of prison after season 3. If this is the same canon, but he's clearly slumming it a wee bit. He's kind of dealing with like the dregs. He's got the fucking tracksuit mafia.
Yeah, what's happening there?
Then in Echo, he's clearly trying to build himself up and get Maya back under wing.
Yeah.
But Maya uses fucking ancient Choctaw
the
soul
Force,
magic,
like literally,
to like fucking like recognize your faults, and does like a fucking virtual sin absolution.
Yeah. and that changes him. I remember listening to an interview, Dungeon Offer, he's like, that done something. So that's where we take him off
essentially
from.
made him like think about and like realign and try and understand what do I want to do. You know, faced up to his own evils. So at the end of the Echo, he sees it as a mayoral race, and I think I interpret it as him thinking, I have to get involved with this. I have to kind of go legit because that will allow me that I really do want to help and change the city.
I think he does genuinely want to do that.
Yeah, but it's not quite like a full redemption. It's not like he's like desperate to go legit. I think he just is like, oh yeah, this would be the nice way to do it. But then like the moment he feels like he needs to do crime, he's like, well, I absolutely have to do a bit of crime about it though.
I think
and
so.
It's just his arc is the constant pull to like how far crime are we talking here? Like let's be clear. First and foremost,
is it though?
Well, let's immediately jump to the Adam situation.
Yeah, I was about to go there.
The moment he found out about Adam, he locked that motherfucker in a cage.
Yeah, so like if we're really dealing with how evil I could be personally, or in this situation, like if I get touched in the head by ancient Choctaw magic, and I'm like immediately I'm gonna be a good guy now. I don't then immediately lock a guy up in prison.
So that's why I don't think he was ever going to be good. I think he just wanted to realign his approach to it. Like he's like, do I want to be underworld crime boss man
and have that reputation,
evil and violence?
Yeah, because I think even saying that, like his reputation, I think he doesn't like it when people call him out on it. Like when he's in this seat in mayor, he's like, and people like the commissioner's coming. I was like, you're just a criminal, bro. It feels like I don't want that.
He's like, I'm trying to do something different here.
Yeah.
and this has been Kingpin
even
forever.
If it is going to be the criminal in 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's like people tell him he's going to be a criminal.
Yeah.
It's a lack of people seeing his vision. That's why I love Vanessa so much. That she just seems to get him.
Yeah, she's like, fine, pop off.
And I'm not saying that's good. Like the commissioner is right. Like he has a fucking evil villain.
Absolutely.
But he has a goal in mind. He has this desperate love of the city. I want to like make things better, but like better according to his vision.
Yeah.
Which is usually I'm very powerful and have all of the money, and anybody who doesn't like me, such as vigilantes, will get punched to death.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think he was ever going to turn good. I think he was just going to realign how he presents himself and how he might go about it.
And that's the kind of ultimate struggle between the leads. Because Matt's struggling, do I become Daredevil? He's like, do I just become full criminal again?
But that's exactly it. Like it's both of them going back to those characters after these deeply emotional moments for them. It's just funny that one of these emotional moments was baked into this show, whereas the other emotional moment was from a completely different show. Yeah. Which I don't think is a bad thing. I actually think it's cool. It's cool that Kingpin was doing something else with another character and that had a profound impact on him. Kingpin does come out this season great. The allegations were beat.
Absolutely.
Kingpin supporting cast are fun and funky.
I do like the mishmash they've got going on there.
We've got Buck, who is essentially the new Wesley.
Yep.
But he, even within the old episodes, slowly goes a bit beyond Wesley. He's a bit harder edge. Wesley's very professional. He's very hands off if he can avoid it, and he's very emotionally close to Kingpin. And Buck seems to be close, but I don't think we've ever seen that emotional closeness yet.
Right, yeah.
Where Buck is like a fixer. Buck is like a get shit done type of business guy. He will shoot a guy with a gun.
Facts.
Like he will kill a man
from
dead.
The shadows. Like you just won't see him.
And that's cool. There's I can't remember the actress's name, and it's going to annoy me.
I can't remember either.
It's the lady.
She's in quite a lot. Like I've seen her places.
Montoya in Gotham,
bro.
That's what gets me. I look at her and I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking Detective Montoya for
That's
Gotham.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
And she's like the most normal, legally focused political advisor.
She's just a normal person.
She seems to, although I need to know a bit. I want to get just a crumb more about it because she's
okay.
She seems to be in. She's
a
normal person who still seems to like be here for Kingpin. I don't know if it's like he's just hired her for a job and she's like, I'm going to do the job.
I suppose it's a bit like that.
For someone who's been hired to do the job, she does feel. She does seem to be too close to it.
She does sell bro out
in
the end.
She sells Gallo out at the end.
Yeah.
Like, but then she's visibly afraid.
Yeah.
So do you think she allowed herself to get too close, like as a job, and she didn't? Like,
I think
was it up to her to have said, "This is the fucking Kingpin. I can't get involved with this."
That's probably it. Like she's aware of the situation she's in, and she's aware that
she played with fire and got burnt.
Not even that. It's that if I play this right, I could get out maybe.
Well, yeah.
So she's like, I'll sacrifice him so that I'm now in and trusted more.
And it's maybe there's some hubris though, because she also talks about having done this for other people. She's like, I've been doing this for like other people. So maybe she's like, I've been paid to do this, probably a lot of money because the Kingpin.
Yeah.
I could like get involved. It's just the Kingpin, but maybe it's a great challenge for me who does this.
Yeah.
And then she just was, unfortunately, just too close and has been pulled into the orbit now.
Yeah.
Then you've got Gen Z Zoomer Daniel Blake.
Yeah, the goat.
Who's like a baby fascist who's like, no, I fucking love Kingpin actually. It doesn't matter about all the killings. I'm a little kid who thinks he's cool as fuck.
I think you're great.
He was amazing.
He's good.
Like, Michael's got his dad's chops. I've not watched many Saints in New York, but like, he's got it.
Okay.
I think he's a fun little guy. I mean, okay, he's not. I'm not saying he plays like Daniel Blake isn't Tony Soprano. I just mean like I'm watching these two guys, and I'm like, you guys have the right energy. You've been given a very specific role, and you have the perfect energy for it.
Yeah, he's playing it well. I
like watching. Daniel is like the baby kingpin, as you say, the one who's like he's getting the lead in, and he's
grooming him a wee bit.
Happily getting into their circle. He wants to get that power. He wants to. You know, he's an impudent little fucking kid.
He's trying to use it. Like he fucks up early with BB because he's trying to use his influence then. And it backfires.
Thinks he's hot shit, and then he learns. But then that's part of the process. It's as you say, Kingpin grooming him into like a model. Like a literal Kingpin too.
And after that happens, like he's got him. He's like, oh well, I won't do anything ever again. So
now I've got you trapped because of a mistake.
And I will kill you if you do it again.
His response to it also is a bit like, because it feels like Daniel is into it. Like Kingpin's like, again, I'll kill you, I've got you. And Daniel's like, I'm fine with that.
Like I understand.
I'm committed to this. So I think Kingpin sees something special in him because again, it's that thing. It's people who just acquiesce to his vision. It's people that Daniel's like, no, I'm in. You
bro,
point, I'll shoot. Like, what do we do here? And Kingpin's like, okay, cool. I like that.
I've got you.
I like people who are just involved with this. And yet then you get a BB who's like the new reporter again, a bit more on the street, a bit more. She's maybe the one playing with fire and getting burned type of thing. Like she's clearly trying to do good. She's clearly trying to get involved in and really be a good reporter, but she's having to be at the whim of certain forces. She has to like write that story about the anti-vigilante force because she didn't really have a choice. But like,
and when she meets Fisk, he knows she's no in it. She's no inside, obviously.
Correct, yeah.
So he is playing it sort of coy in that way, and she's just trying to do like a journalism.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I like that tension between them because they're obviously going to mine that further.
Well, there's the underlying tension of Ben. We've talked about this before. Does BB know Kingpin killed Ben?
Yes. Well,
I think
it's explicitly stated at the end that
he's a suspect.
She's at least aware that he was number one, perhaps.
It's known for a fact that like Kingpin was either a suspect or it's like, well, he was the most likely person to have either done it or ordered it to be done.
Yeah. And so I think ultimately, she knows he's ultimately responsible.
Yeah.
She just doesn't maybe know he's the one who done it.
Exactly that. You know? I think no one really knows the true story as the point is, but it's impossible to avoid the obvious.
Exactly.
And that's deeply fascinating. And BB obviously makes those moves towards the end where she's like, she shows that she has that integrity.
Yeah, it's like listen, I'll give them a few. I'll write this puff piece in order to get in to potentially break him down later.
Pretty much, yeah. And but she's also like, I'm gonna play the sides because she's like, I'll do my BB report and I'll do the puff pieces, but then I'll go on Twitter.com and I'll go under a different pseudonym and I'll blast all the members. I'll fucking dox the members of the Anti-Vigilante Task Force and stuff like that, which is cool. And that's actually really cool. Also another Daredevil episode.
Bro, I need her to speak to Daredevil a wee bit. I need
to speak to Daredevil.
I need that relationship a wee bit.
That would be really cool. Then you've got the main thing is, so Kingpin and Vanessa. So Vanessa's now full criminal.
She's taking the reins.
She's right, and the Kingpin's disappeared to do an echo.
And do you know what? She's fucking smashing it.
She's actually very good at it.
Aye.
Various criminals of New York would say Vanessa Fisk very good at being a Kingpin.
Actually better, yeah. Like, we take
Kingpin
that.
Comes back and he's like, stop what you're doing, criminals.
Please
do not do crime anymore.
Yes.
I'll tell you what crime you can and can't do, and it's an understandable fuckery. Vanessa's clearly feeling the weight of that.
Well, he's come in and taken her work.
Pretty much.
Like, he's just stopped her from doing anything.
Yeah. He showed up and he's like, we're going to do this now.
Yeah.
Like,
and she's like, well, I've
doing
done
all
something
good here. I've kept us afloat.
I'm making us loads of money. We're fine. We're great.
That's why it's so great to have a therapy scenes.
Facts, bro.
That was actually a really good idea to
Very good idea.
Therapist and have them just talk about feelings.
Big into it.
Turns out Vanessa had a teeny wee affair.
Do you know what? She was in Italy or whatever it was. You know.
No, I think it was when she was in New York. But he was away.
Oh, was it?
Aye.
I thought it was when she was away.
She talks about how you were away for so long.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
I don't even think it was necessarily like I don't love you anymore. I think it was just like I really need some.
Yeah.
I know it has
hands. I think so.
And that's like that characterizes a lot of it. I like how they just very softly engage in that. They just mention it offhand initially.
Yeah, because Fist doesn't want to know that.
But you draw your own conclusions as well.
Yeah,
like she mentions like, I'm like sorry about Adam type of thing. I'm like, who's Adam? What have you been up to?
Who's Adam?
What's going on there? But then it's beautiful and a morbid way to watch them go through their problems together
and eventually come back
and
together.
Come back together.
And it's quite beautiful in a way.
It's almost like a repeat, not in a bad way, of like the season 3 stuff of like she needs to be let in more. He needs to talk to her more and engage her more. But now it's like in an actual practical sense. Season 3 was like, you just need to tell me and show me the criminal stuff.
Yeah.
This one's more like, you need to understand that I am good and like doing this, and you need to work with me here instead of just like I know you've got these own visions that you're trying to do, but like you have to trust in me to accomplish these things as well.
I hear you, but I don't think he's ever not on side with her being in charge of it.
I'm not saying he's not on side with her being in charge of it. I mean more like, again, he's showing up and being like, we're going to completely do things differently now. My plan's actually what's happening now. And I think she's like, well, you need to bring me into the plan.
Right.
You need to make sure I'm like, let's get me on. I mean, not that she's not on side, but like, fold me in a bit more.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, a base level of appreciation. Like, you need to recognise the work I did while you weren't here. You need to recognise that you weren't here.
It does say that.
And he does. He has like a full, like, I'm actually sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I have your ex-lover in a cage.
Yeah.
And then they kill him and everyone loves each other again.
And I love it.
It's beautiful. Love's beautiful.
It's great. Conquers all, you know.
I really deeply love the visual metaphor of the rabbit in a snowstorm where the blood smear's still on it.
Yeah.
From season 3, which again, that was in a couple of
can't get rid of it, man.
Old scenes, but I'm like, those were also old. No, I don't.
Where the old
I
scenes?
wonder
though?
if those were. Could you imagine if they did not reference anything about old Daredevil except the painting?
Well, it is like iconography a wee bit.
I suppose I feel like
from this take,
and they were
you know what I mean?
Have a Vanessa, so I feel like it's intrinsic to that.
So all the therapy stuff is new, bro. Because if they're gonna have a Vanessa, like a new one, it just wouldn't be the same.
You know what? I actually take back what I said. I do believe someone was doing a little bit of crafting, and I believe they did actually conclude that the therapy stuff was new.
Because like the whole Adam subplot then is just like, where do you get that if you don't have the therapy? Do you know what I mean?
I guess maybe you can have like a little conversation or two.
Like if you don't have Vanessa cheated on me while I was away in the therapy, and he just shows up in a cage at the end of the episode, you're like, what the fuck's that? Like,
God, that is fucking fascinating. Yeah.
So that's got to all be new stuff.
I need to look into that. There was a cut plot line involving like wealthy art people, and they were originally
that kind of gets in there a wee bit though.
They were originally Muse's parents.
Right.
And Muse
that makes sense.
Muse had a different name, and in fact, in one of the episodes that is live,
right,
if you pause and fucking zoom in and enhance, like the case file says his original name.
Okay, right.
So apparently that was a confirmed like subplot, and that was a big Fisk one because it was Fisk like it kind of related to that later thing that starts to happen more. Fisk rubbing up against the elite.
Yeah.
Fisk part of Fisk's ongoing journey to like rediscover Kingpin is realizing that like I can do so much as mayor.
Yeah.
But occasionally I just can't do shit.
Yeah, so that's why I need Buck.
That's why I need Buck.
Vanessa.
That's why I need to be the Kingpin as well. That's why I need to don't put my foot down.
Yeah.
Like these fucking posh do-wallies are talking down on me, so I'll just lock them in cages.
And that'll be fine.
Featuring fucking Jack Duquesne, the swordsman.
Oh my god, man.
I can't believe he was in this. I can't believe Lalo Salamanca was in this. I'm so happy.
Lalo the goat, man.
He pops up and he's like, also, he's just a vigilante now.
He is just the swordsman, you know what I mean?
He's just the swordsman.
He is just Zorro, kind of, whatever, you know.
I think I'm fine with that.
Me too.
Because that was the whole joke in Hawkeye, was like, you thought he was the bad, and it turns out he's actually just a bit of a silly Billy.
Yeah, he's just a good guy.
With a good guy lean. So, like, I think him probably just being like, you know what? My fucking daughter's like, my like pseudo daughter's Hawkeye. I can just get involved.
We can just be pals.
I'm very rich.
I like swords.
We're
good at fencing.
So peak Chad go 5 stars absolute cinema.
Yeah, definitely breaking out of prison in 10 minutes. Yeah, 100%.
Was that the season or was that the Punisher special?
Man, probably the special. Aye.
I like the idea of people that's just the raid
style special.
That,
yeah. with the Lalo.
With Lalo. Punisher and Lalo Salamanca, but the funny version.
That's the Fortnite crossover I need.
That's the Fortnite. When are they coming to Fortnite? First and foremost.
I need to know.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, you see by the end of Kingpin, and this is related to the finale talk, which we'll move into now. But the Kingpin has essentially re-embraced it. He understands the power of getting up to some fucking crime and manipulation.
He's found the balance, and we ultimately understand the plan with the Narrows. It's not
the
Narrows.
Yeah, we know.
Is it the Narrows? No, it's basically the Narrows.
It's the Narrows. What's the?
That's Batman.
So it fucking is.
It's a fucking port.
It's Red Hook.
Red Hook, which is becoming sort of a Madripoor situation somehow.
Yeah, I did not think that was the way that was going to go.
Me neither. I thought it would be some sort of strange like black site he would create, but it's some sort of weird outside of
He's
law.
going to declare an independent state.
Literally the Vatican
crime.
City, like
the Vatican City of crime.
Insane.
Which is pretty much Madripoor, yeah, innit?
Aye, it's interesting. I like it.
I'm
down.
Amazing development. Right, so this is So the points are coming ahead. Daredevil's getting his sorted and fighting supervillains, despite the fact that Fisk wiggled his finger and went no.
Don't do that.
Daredevil this season also fought corrupt cops, who unfortunately brutally murdered White Tiger, who was in this season and very good and interesting.
Yes.
Cool, like street level shit there. His niece, definitely his niece, was introduced.
Yeah.
Who's another White Tiger in the comics who's probably going to get involved.
Who's the only White Tiger I'm aware of. So I was
do you know more about his niece than Hector?
Not even. She's the card in Marvel Snap, not him. So I was like, man, why is he the White Tiger? Like
That's fucking bozo.
Literally.
Can I just say, that was the White Tiger stuff was really good.
Bro, that's the best of the old stuff.
Literally, like
I
it was
would
just
say
good detailed lawyer shit, good emotional shit, like the discussion of like doing right and wrong, and like I'm doing it because it's the right thing, and all that, and then the corrupt policeman stuff, and the slow trepidation of the Punisher stuff, which is both a real world thing and a comic thing. A bit like there's a little scene in episode like 3 or 4 where he confronts Frank, and he's like, man, why is there like policemen with Punisher tattoos?
I don't give a shit about them, man.
Punisher engraved bullets, and he's like, bro, because they're shit ass fanboys, and I don't give a fuck about them.
Like I'll fuck them up one day.
They do just have like the best scene of all the old stuff, which is just John Bernthal and Charlie Cox doing Daredevil and Punisher.
Right.
I mean, John Bernthal, the moment he's in that episode and he's just like fucking like red,
like, fuck
and
you,
I'm
bro.
Like, peak. He's back. Let's go.
And then ADR says bullseye.
ADR's the word bullseye. I'm like, cool, excellent, top
Great,
10.
that's all I need. Like,
So these corrupt cops keep floating about because Kingpin assembles.
Yeah, they're a through line, aye.
Yeah, the anti-vigilante task force is one of Kingpin's major end games. He wants a what are you laughing at?
The main guy, what's his name?
Powell,
no, the other guy, the black guy.
Oh, the one who's like a full good guy in the comics.
Bro, literally, I think it was the artist. It might have been Marco Cicchetto or it was Zdarsky, and they were on Twitter, and they was like, "Oh, can't wait to see what happens to the character." And it's a picture of the last episode. He's like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's a great character I made. I'm gonna wait to see him." Yes,
I was watching people like compare the comics. Like, I kind of wish like. Maybe the long game will involve him turning into the light. But
maybe, man.
He was the one. Is there not one of the earlier episodes where he's the one who kind of looks a bit like, oh?
I think it's
I do feel a bit interesting, like a bit like unsure. I think when he's assembling the task force, he's the one who's a bit like.
Not even that.
Like,
I got a bit later on in the Muse episode when Fisk shows up.
Oh no, yeah, when Fisk shows up and he's like covered up and he's like.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So like maybe they're sowing the seeds.
I feel like he wanted to be like Daredevil saved us. Like
Like. I think it's fucking hilarious that he's just like a good guy in the comics and just is the categorical opposite of that. But
very
like,
funny.
I think the seeds are maybe there. They could pick that up if they wanted to.
Sure.
I'm keen to see that one pan out. Right, so all these corrupt cops. First, there's an anti-vigilante task force. He's like, I've got enough reason to get angry at vigilantes. I told Daredevil to not get involved.
Yep.
He got involved and did shit against Muse.
White Tiger. That was the start of it. Yeah.
That was the start of it because Daredevil publicly made White Tiger a good thing. He was also as like Matt Murdock as well, and Fisk's like that fucking guy. I fucking that guy. The scene in episode 1 was really good. See when they meet in the diner and they kind of chat almost like their old friends.
Yeah, that was good. I need that again actually.
I do need that.
Like
yeah,
that for season 2 would be
talking.
Like, bro. I want them to meet again outside of costumes.
I think that would be a really, really good thing. Yeah.
A wee fight.
There's now this unfucking control, like Fisk is like direct control of like a fucking Uber police, like
literally.
Secret police force.
Fucking mensch.
No fucking rules, no body cam.
Yup.
Get in there and commit fucking war crimes.
Literally.
And he's leading towards this thing with Ed Hook. So then we get to 8 and 9, which are the new episodes. Then they immediately just out the gate, like loaders were like, Bullseye's back.
Yep.
Get Bullseye in.
Yep.
He was from the last season. He was the one hanging to head. Get him in.
He's been moved to fucking Gen Pop.
Been moving to Gen Pop. It's clearly like an attempt to kill him because people
literally
kill him.
We want him shoved.
Kill them. Like, and then how does he get? Oh, he breaks out.
Matt helps him.
Matt accidentally
begrudgingly helps him
because essentially in the new finale they go back to the foggy thing.
Yeah, so we start unpicking that a wee bit.
We start to realise that there's some stuff about the foggy thing that's interesting. Like Foggy, it turns out, was actually celebrating something perhaps prematurely.
It's like how
we was talking about a case, and then he confronts Bullseye about why he killed him. Matt slams his head against the table. It's very brutal, and then it recreates that famous thing of Bullseye using a dislodged tooth to like fucking assassinate a guy. peak.
Right through his dome.
Every time they did, Bullseye was really good in this.
Bullseye is never bad.
He's never bad.
Like,
the only solitary thing they need to do is cut his mouth out of that fucking ski mask, because you need to see
maybe.
Bullseye,
bro, we might get that.
Running maniacally.
We just may get that. You don't know.
I think that's what I want to see at bare minimum. I think the suit's a bit too tactical, but I don't want him to be like I can't imagine him being like. And I know MCU has a problem with this, but especially in regards to Daredevil, I can't imagine him wearing like the spandex with a big obvious target.
No.
I like him having like a military suit. I know it's adapted for another comic suit.
Right.
In season 2 set picks, there's a more pronounced bullseye on the forehead.
That's nice, yeah.
Cool. Let's
I like where they're going with the costumes for season 2.
Well,
I saw.
You want to talk about the obvious?
It's obvious.
Have you seen the Daredevil situation in season 2?
Yeah, he's like Shadowland.
He's
costume.
got the DD.
He does have the DD, and I remember Stephen D. Knight, who was the showrunner for first season, I think it was. He's been doing like loads of questions on Twitter, and he's like, "Well, I didn't have the DD because he doesn't really become Daredevil till the end of the season, and he's not known as a Daredevil then, so it wouldn't make sense to have the DD on there." But now I think we're at a point. I mean, we were there at the end of season 2 probably, where we could add that to it, and now I think we're getting there. And the MCU, well, the shows seem more like okay doing something like that, pushing the boat a wee bit,
right?
Going costume wise.
I think so.
I would like us to pull back from nanotech tactical suits a bit more.
Well, that too, yeah.
But that's the eternal thing that we always want, isn't it?
I think it's just easiness for them, yeah. But
unless we're in the 60s, or we have a really good guy on top of it.
Or
that's what
like,
we're getting.
Or it's like a plebeian, like Miss Marvel can't have a nanotech suit.
Chris,
well, in the show, I don't want to talk about the Marvels. Like Daredevil is just like a guy. He is like a fucking crazy guy who wields like buzzsaws to make his suits.
And
now he's got a fashion designer in San Francisco.
If that's a new suit, like new suit TM, like where's the boy?
Where's the boy?
Where's Potter, man? Where's Melvin?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Melvin makes it anymore. It's the guy in mind, She-Hulk. Graeme, I remember She-Hulk, Graeme.
But bro,
he was in She-Hulk. We've not mentioned She-Hulk once.
But it doesn't matter.
I mean, he is also just in She-Hulk.
That's facts.
There's nothing really special there.
That's a lot of shipping, man. San Fran to New York.
He was a bit more wacky in She-Hulk because She-Hulk was like that, but it kind of portrayed a healthy Daredevil before the events of
yeah,
Yep, interesting there. So yeah, I forgot to mention it, but there's also nothing to say. Yeah, the guy in San Fran might be doing it.
Maybe.
Anyway, so Bullseye's back involved. We have a lead up to a big dirty gala scene as Daredevil realizes that like Kingpin was involved in Foggy dying, and he unravels. He's like, oh god, it's another fucking Kingpin.
He's sure it's Kingpin.
We sure it's Kingpin, yeah. And he's like,
the
it's
sauce,
another fucking plot.
The sauce, bro.
It's another plot. He's trying to get me. Heather, you don't get it. Kingpin hates me personally. Yep. And then the twist is
it's a good setting. There's loads of things happening. There's like 5 different threads happening at once.
But that scene in general, yeah, like everybody is there.
All
really.
the players are there.
Like Bullseye's broke out of prison and coming to get Kingpin because he just hates Kingpin, obviously.
BB's
there, Dan is there. Like,
is it Kingpin?
I think Bullseye's there for Kingpin, yeah.
Okay.
But they have this beautiful dance sequence. A dance sequence can do wonders. Watch Andor season 2.
Oh my. Man's talking about Mon Mothma over here.
Mate, that fucking sequence is amazing and it's heartbreaking. Do you know all the trailers? She's like, it's a big funny happy dance. Just see once you learn the context, just the opposite.
It's really sad dance.
And it's also the hardest techno beat I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh shit,
You've got to watch Andor
Rave?
season 2. I doubt it's full rave. It's aggressive, hard techno.
She's throwing shapes, man.
She's cutting shapes, and it's heartbreaking.
Damn, poor Mon Mothma.
Like, damn, she's tearing it up and I'm crying. They do a beautiful dance sequence where Matt sort of intuits. I mean, has he intuited by this point?
I think so, yeah. That's when he works out, oh man, it was actually her.
It was fucking Vanessa who ordered the hit on Foggy, which is a BFD.
Bro, yeah.
And then it just tits up. Like, Bullseye shows up, attempts to kill fucking Kingpin, who's currently manipulating Heather.
See the sauce, man. Beautiful.
You don't fucking know who Matt is, do you, Heather?
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt saves Kingpin's life.
Because he has to.
Because a hero. That's what he has to. But also...
No, he needs to know.
Like, come on, Matt.
He needs to know the answer, the reasons. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Just let it go through.
Just let him die, man.
Nah, man. Nah. I ain't it.
And then that leads into, like, the bombastic action finale. Like, Bullseye's out about... He's not really... I feel like
he's just escaped now. He's free.
He's out. Although one quick thing,
for shit.
I'm really happy that they take a moment in season 3 in Burning It to just explain like the transition period. They have the scene that shows Vanessa hiring Bullseye, manipulating him, and then getting him to do the hit because it turns out that Foggy was getting too close to finding out what the deal with Kingpin's grand plan as mayor for Redwood was.
What currently is happening.
But Vanessa literally sits down and goes, by the way, Fisk was able to get out of prison because they were essentially able to shift the blame on the FBI for season 3.
Yep, makes
and
sense.
Also, this was what happened to you at the end of season 3, and I'm like, cool, excellent. The bridges are filled. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, just have to have 2 lines. Excellent.
Thanks. Do you know who didn't do that? The other guys.
Yeah. Connor and Ord definitely didn't do that. They didn't even cross that bridge, mate. They were burning it.
They saw it and were like, I'll go the other way.
Yeah, so we get like the whole sort of deal with Vanessa. Then we get like Matt's disillusion, his relationship with Heather. We get like
crumbling.
Fisk essentially doubling down. I've nearly been assassinated. I'm going to use this as my fucking ploy to get everyone involved as well. Deploy the AVTF. Fuck everybody.
Everywhere.
Fucking Daredevil and fuck Bullseye.
Yep.
He uses a power outage as well to essentially
instigate something. Sure.
Yeah. They don't focus on it too much, but not in a bad way. Just he has a line where he quite literally says a bit like turning the lights off or something. And he used that essentially as an excuse about everything's fucked. There's vigilantes. I'm deploying the task force. I'm declaring martial law. I'm taking control.
Lock in.
We find out like Karen comes back. Punisher comes back. It's peak. It's great.
Cinema cars.
Like John Berthel's in there, fucking shaved and calling him Red and fucking asking him something and like, let me ask you something, Red.
Talking about his ass.
Like they have a big, beautiful fight scene where Punisher gets to murder some corrupt cops, and it's great.
Yeah.
Karen's there. He has feelings for Karen.
Obviously.
Karen has feelings for everyone.
Does he? I don't know if he does anymore.
Apparently there's a soft triangle here.
There's a little bit of a soft triangle.
Like loves Karen.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the end game's Karen and Matt though.
Nah.
Do you think it's Karen?
I don't think so. I think so. I think right now it makes more sense. I would like Elektra to come back.
I would like Elektra to come back. Yeah. I suppose
Daredevil's just single, bro. Sorry. That's just how it is.
Everyone gets too close to him.
That's it, man. I can't have him.
Yeah. So Karen and Matt figured out the whole like Foggy nearly discovered that Kingpin was essentially declaring a fucking nation state of uber crime in this port because of old laws, which is really funny and cool to me.
Literally.
That's like a super villain plot.
That is, and I love that.
But it's also like based on like cool logistical stuff.
Yeah, like that could happen.
Dario knew what he was doing.
Bro.
How did we let this happen?
Kevin.
Again, more serious action sequences. I feel like it doesn't, kind of, you can tell it was a cliffhanger part 1, part 2. They lead up to like the concept that we got to go into the fucking red tape. We got to figure out what Kingpin's up to. And we literally can't because there's 100 million Uber police.
You became Daredevil 2 days ago again. Yeah. Like, you're not ready.
We're just shot recently. And this.
You're not at.
You do in fact need an army team. And everybody was like, pause. Excuse me. Frank meanwhile gets caught because he decides to have a conscience. He's back in the game.
What a guy.
I mean, Frank's an interesting one. He ends season 2 Punisher being like, I'm actually just going to become the Punisher and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
And now at the start of this, he's like, as opposed to that as can humanly be. I did read a big long theory about how he doesn't really resolve himself in a way in Punisher. Like the point of the Punisher is that he's always going to be fucking upset and miserable because he is the bad one.
Right, yeah.
He knows he has to live this
it's actually not good
endless murderous lifestyle.
Yeah.
So he's always going to kind of become a bit shit and miserable, I think, unless he can at least open himself to love and companionship, maybe is the thing. There's some levels to be explored there that I hope get touched on in the special.
Right.
But the Punisher goes in to confront the cops, gets a good licks in, but there is 100 million cops, so they do overpower him and chuck him in Kingpin's like
just how it be. Yeah.
So Frank's in jail and Daredevil, like Kingpin's declared martial law. He's took as much control of the city as he can, and he's like, fuck Daredevil.
Yep. There is a curfew. All vigilantes will die. Spider-Man TM.
Yeah, I will kill. There was a Spider-Man reference in this show.
There was.
Kingpin does call out like people who dress up like spiders, and you're like, fucking capital P.
Who?
Pause. That was a Sony trademarked reference there.
You cannot do that, sir.
You're not allowed to do that.
The lawyers will see you soon.
It's amazing
all of New York's fucked, bro.
All of New York's fucked, and then Sentry's going to turn them on a shadow as well.
Is that before or after or during? I don't know.
How is this going to fucking
what
fit
are
into
the implications?
How is this fitting in, bro?
We will find out.
Check, that's the post credits of Thunderbolts. That's allegedly really cool.
It would be so funny
it's just
if
like
it's
Kingpin
like,
in a bunker. He's like, fuck you, Matt Murdock, and then gets turned into a shadow.
That'd be funny.
So like Matt's like, right, well, I gotta take back the city. Kingpin's like took full control, and I now understand that I am back as Daredevil. I have to be back. I have to be back, man. Because he's obviously had issues with Faith, but they also focus on him having issues of lawyer as well.
Well,
you have a full trial arc that it just ends with the guy getting killed anyway because of just corruptions in the system.
Yep. That is the ultimate. That's why he becomes him in the first place. Is because you know what? I can't fight the corruption.
Yeah.
I can't infiltrate the corruption and beat it. as a lawyer at the moment, so I'll just do it
I have
as
to
a
work outside the
vigilante.
law sometimes. And he tried his best to, but no, but Foggy thinks I should.
And he
do
takes
this with Kirsten, like
as a lawyer, he takes continuous L in the series. Like there's White Tiger, the guy that stole a cereal.
Yeah, a guy that steals like a cereal box, and he just reads him down for like, bro, you're not fucking helping me. Like, how much money's spent for this?
Like, what do you mean, bro?
The bit where he's like, man, the police were also eating it, like. And I was like, damn, the guy's right.
Bro.
And this is like real life shit. So this is why it's so fucked up.
And then he's got that asshole guy he's the lawyer for, and he's just like, bro, you fucking did it. Like, shut up. Like, fuck off.
Like, all these things are just causing him being wore down. He has a really beautiful scene with Kirsten where he's like, bro, we are not doing anything.
Yeah, like, I need to just, like, put the suit on and lock in.
Like, I'm done with this, bro. This fucking sucks.
See you later.
So, yeah, I think it's great to see him pushed to Daredevil in a terms of understanding. It's like... I think obviously the best version of him would have him do a bit of both, but like for him to understand the absolute necessity of Daredevil, because it's like you at the very least Daredevil is doing the stuff that you know you can't do.
Aye.
Like there is a necessity here, especially in this world where like literally the fucking Kingpin is also the mayor.
Aye, he's in charge.
Like,
so
there are people getting done in his shadows. Like, what's Matt Murdock lawyer gonna do about that?
Fucking throw the club, mate. You know.
Well, what's that? I was gonna say, what's Daredevil? He's got that ping and like throws Daredevil at the tower.
So funny.
So yeah, he's like, I gotta assemble an army, and it's all of the boring regulars from this season. You retweeted it.
Man.
You retweeted it.
Hated it, man.
You
like,
went into imagine going into that room and expecting to see like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and it's fucking Cherry.
Oh, Cherry, man, rip.
I
understand that that's all they could do.
Yeah, I will say at this point it can't be the Defenders, but I'm hopeful for season 2.
I'm 100% certain Luke Cage will appear.
Yes.
I'm certain Jessica Jones will also appear.
Because he's got this, essentially, it's like he's making a statement to the people, at least we know from now, are like in the loop. Cherry's there because Cherry is a cool guy. There was another policewoman who I think is even a comic character who was. She showed up in episode 1, then she was like the lead detective on the bank case episode, which is another reason why that bank case episode is kind of relevant. Right. She was also just there.
Okay.
Karen's there.
True.
Josie was there.
Obviously.
The
goat. Frank wasn't there. He's in prison.
He's in prison. He's in the jail cell with Jack Duquesne, the swordsman. So yeah, he's like, we're going to do it. Like, this is the start. We're gonna get people involved. We're gonna take back our city. We will become the city without fear.
Let's go.
I'm like, cool, excellent, and very pog.
Sounds great.
And then quick post credits. Frank inevitably breaks out of his cage. He's going to become a Punisher about it.
That will probably be the special.
So yeah, that's where it ends off.
That's where we end, bro.
First off,
fantastic ending.
First off, so you called it a Midland season.
It was.
Did you like Born Again?
Yes.
But it wasn't as good as any of the Netflix seasons, would you argue?
Absolutely.
It's the worst of the 4, would you say?
It's the worst of the 4.
Is worst the right word to use? I think I famously said it's not beating any of those ones, but it's not bad either.
It's not awful. It's not Secret Invasion.
It could not be Secret Invasion.
Nothing could be Secret Invasion.
I don't think it's even a Thor 4 Love and Thunder.
No, it's better than that. I would just say that its highs are high. I don't know if its highs beat any of the highs of Netflix. Its lows certainly get there.
I think on a moment to moment level, some of the highest points from the finale
are getting there.
Definitely sit with me more than the ninja shit for season 2.
I'm not saying they're
that whole episode 8 with like the build up and the fucking galaxy was like fucking Omega Goat.
Yes, all the good sauce is up there.
Yeah.
But all the worst sauce is really bad to me. Or, like, not even really bad. It's just not as good.
Okay, I don't want to drag it out, but what is the bad here? I mean, we talked about the Muse episode specifically. Is it really just that Muse conclusion is such
That's
a fucking
the lowest,
L?
I think, yeah.
It's definitely the lowest.
That's the lowest, I think.
It's the only episode I can say I don't like because of its resolution.
It's just the rest of it being so... not tying as deeply in.
Being good in a vacuum. Like, the Twilight Saga is great, but it's just still that level of disconnected.
So.
And you just need it to have carried on.
Yeah.
You needed to have seen more and understood more.
I think that is it, and that's maybe not fair because.
Well, is it not fair? Because why did these guys do this? Why did Corman and Ord do this? Why was this ever not going to be a continuation?
What were they coming from? It was like Lost or something.
I think it was maybe something like that.
I don't know, right? But they're coming from like episodic TV.
Well, yeah.
Which is like none of the MCU shows have done that.
Exactly.
Really, She-Hulk's the closest, probably.
I'd say so, yeah.
So
that's
like
a comedy. It's a completely different genre as well.
Aye. So, and we've been fucking programmed to think there is an overarching story over 10 seasons here, probably, from like Breaking Bad, what's happening, The Sopranos, Mad Men, all this. It's all coming to a point somewhere. So to have an episode of the week structure is weird right now, and I think that's what I bounced off of.
Yeah.
And that they're
tonally
disconnected.
And structurally and contextually just different enough that you're like, I need this to be the classic boy.
Aye.
And you could, when it was the 1, 8, and 9, when it was the Daredevil, you're like, this is it. Like, we've still got it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's almost funny that it gets front-ended and back-ended. So you see one really great episode, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna sit through the rest of this.
That's what draws it down more as well. Like the middle of it, which is the most of it.
Well, that's exactly it. Like the White Tiger stuff is great in a bubble.
Aye.
But the problem is you need it to not be in a bubble. You need it to be part of that greater Daredevil.
I need it more tied in somehow.
Because if it was like if you supplant that White Tiger thing into like a Netflix season, and they've obviously including that into like every character and every supporting cast and every continuing factor. It's again, it's elite tier. But it's just unfortunately by consequence of what Corman and did. I don't want to paint them as like super villains.
Nah, because this is fire.
Well,
that one's fire.
They can do good stuff. It's just I don't understand. And if it was a decision, did Kevin Feige do this?
I don't know, Ewan. I think the problem is
too much now.
Yeah, I think the problem is that he didn't not do it.
If he didn't, if he wasn't the one who did it, he didn't stop it.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like
again,
he wasn't. He didn't have oversight of it.
Someone needed to be in the room.
He missed it.
Like how did this go under the radar?
Facts.
I did really like it. Again, we've always talked about it in the podcast. At least I'm always really able to take the things I like away and hold on to the Indira. So I think the only down bit of the season for me was the resolution of Muse.
Right.
Like that just was.
I would agree. Yeah.
Weak. It was not well written. It was clunky. The action was good, but there's debatable issues, especially comparative to like the action from the old guys.
Yeah.
The White Tiger stuff was good enough that I could like cool. I wish it was more connected, but cool. The bank heist thing, again,
it's fine.
It could have been better if it was knitted in, but I still liked it for what it was. It's just the Muse stuff, and when you fumble the Muse resolution, you kind of feel a bit worse about the Muse setup as well.
Yeah,
it kind of just has a negative effect spreading.
Yeah, because like, what's the point now? Why did I enjoy that first one so much if this second one is going to be this?
But I think the biggest caveat on all that is season 2.
This is where we're going, yeah.
And even for how it's going to do season 1, if Muse is coming back, right? If they can fucking bring him back in an interesting way and contextualize him vis-a-vis what happened in season 1 and like Heather's ongoing arc, because Heather's ongoing arc, before I mention that, is she's now fully in with Kingpin, right?
She takes a job.
He's kept too much for it. Kingpin's like, I think you're cool. I was one of your cool cases. You really helped us. Why don't you be like on my cabinet? And she's like, yeah, I fucking love Kingpin.
Know what? Yeah.
So like, if this all gets contextualized by a recurrence of Muse later and that, like, I think Thanos. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Perhaps.
But there's an ongoing vision we've yet to see yet. So, season 2, as we go forward,
bro, lock in.
Like, we do just need to see the Defenders.
Like, so I think someone in charge or involved right in the process was like getting interviewed and they were asked the question, what's happening?
Yeah, come on the fuck.
And bro said the word KJ.
I think it was.
So like,
look, KJ.
That's what makes me think he's obviously. He said that the presence of them is unignorable. Like you can't get away from it.
Saying like, look, we know we can't divorce them, so we have to explore this option.
We know they're like there probably. So like, I'm not gonna say they are, but it'd be weird if like they weren't somewhere.
Yeah.
And speaking more broadly, it'd be weird if like Spider-Man was there.
Well, yeah.
I understand that's a different situation.
You're right. You've got two contexts here. You've got the context of the Netflix version. Now, I feel like we didn't really talk too much about the other Defender stuff, and I don't know if we have as much time right now, but I think there will be more to talk about, especially if and when they do come back.
Factual.
But you've got the concept of the Netflix verse, which was still quite good. I mean, I liked all the things I saw.
Yes,
good, interesting characters, and it's what you expect to see vis-a-vis that. Daredevil's back. I expect to see Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist back.
At some point.
And the Punisher as well, but he has back, so we don't need to worry about that. Then you've got the context of the promise of New York. Spider-Man is fully just there.
Bro, is
Where is he?
Bro, where is he?
Like,
and do you know what? More broadly, right? This is New York, not just Hell's Kitchen. Not just Hell's Kitchen
like,
News
we've specifically
5, right?
Pushed ourselves out into broader New York. Like,
so we're asking the question again. What's J. Jonah got to say about this?
Yeah. I think that can I be brutally honest? Right now, the most criminally missing thing from this is J. Jonah Jameson.
Like, and I think that is easier to get than Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so we should be talking about that. Hopefully,
I think Fisk having like a. Well then, okay. This is how do we want to characterize J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU? Because really good versions of J. Jonah Jameson in the comics are like violently good reporters who just happen to have a bias against Spider-Man.
Just got a bit of a blind spot,
the moment Spider-Man's not in the context, like he would be in there and be like, Fisk's a fucking corrupt bastard. Do you not remember what happened in fucking Daredevil 1, 2, and 3? Like, here's all the fucking evidence. Bang, 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 bang. I'm a great reporter. And the moment he sees Spider-Man, he's like, nah, it's him. He's actually Fisk in disguise. Take the mask off.
It's literally at you.
So, like,
that's his blind spot.
If we want to characterize J. Jonah like that in the MCU, he'd be really cool. If we wanted to have him just be the Alex
Spider-Man
Jones
guy,
brand, like bad journalist, he also has a space in this as part of Fisk's ongoing media corruption.
Facts.
And he's growing in sort of visibility after No Way Home, so he's a presence that
we could get him in. But even if we don't get him in, I would like the sort of characterization of New York.
Yeah,
it's people, it's interviewed people, more explored through BB and all the rest of it, because that's really interesting to me.
I think that was a great shout.
How are they going to deal with curfews at 8 p.m? What's that going to be like?
The thing I'm thinking is this, right? The season 2, we're really making a push to be a bit more heroic. Like the city is under siege, but we, the city, will fight back. Daredevil is taking a stand. Seemingly, I'm not saying he's trying to be super public, but he will. I feel like they're positioning him to be like a heroic figure in this face. I am standing up for the people in the face of overwhelming evil. So season 2 intrinsically has to be about, like, it has to really embrace the community nature.
I think we've got a potential to be like Penguin Light.
Yeah,
because it's very Penguin coded, the situation they find themselves in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's been a big disaster. There's powers outage. There's a curfew now. There's potential for looting.
There's
all that stuff.
There's some serial killers, but there's also some corruption. There was like that heartbreaking scene where they fucking like kill a fucking kid. The cops kill a kid and they put a mask on. It's like, when he's a vigilante, so I can kill him.
Bro, literally.
It's like the people, like, you can't treat people as stupid. So the next season has to kind of address that, like, there are, like the real world, good and bad people about this, and how is this gelling together.
I
think bringing in the Defenders does need to happen as a result. One, because we do need an army. Like, Cherry with 9mm not beating the anti-vigilante task force.
Unfortunately not, you know.
Luke Cage is immune to bullets.
Bro's bulletproof, literally.
Like, let's just get Luke Cage in. I think, I mean...
Jessica Jones is, like, really strong too.
Jessica Jones is really strong. Iron Fist can do Kung Fu.
Bro, he knows martial arts too.
Get Colleen in. She's more likely to be there than Iron Fist is. He's in fucking Pyongyang, like, on a fucking spirit quest with Ward.
Where is Misty Knight?
Where's Misty Knight? She's a police... Did she quit the force?
I can't remember. She's great though.
She's great. She's amazing. I want them all back.
Me too, Ewan.
I want them to go to Hell's Kitchen and see Detective Brett Mahoney.
Where is Hellcat?
Where is Hellcat? Where's Nook? Oh, he's dead, actually. Spoilers for Jessica Jones.
Where is Mary?
Well...
We'll get a different Mary. Don't worry about it.
Did you see the one to do her in season 4 of Netflix Daredevil?
Ah, man.
Like proper Typhoid Mary?
That'd have been cool.
Would be cool. I don't know much about Typhoid Mary. Have you read anything with her in it?
No.
I've got a friend, Army at work. Army knows Typhoid Mary. Army's like locked in.
Like aware of that.
Apparently Mary and Iron Fist was like,
I could imagine, yeah.
Wash that under.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think some of them have organic means to come in. Luke Cage, you could literally pluck a line from the end of season 2. So I mean, we'll talk spoilers, but I know we've not talked enough about these things, but essentially Luke Cage tries to be a hero of Harlem, and at the end of season 2 is essentially made to become a crime boss in order to keep stability and to realising that this is a power that you can wield.
Bro, can't you remember that?
That's the base of it. It says on Wikipedia. Remember, I've not seen season 2, but I've watched many videos about it. And the point is, Luke Cage is a belligerent crime boss at the end of season 2.
Right.
Imagine season 3 might have addressed, like, what does that power do to him? All you need to have is like the straight line of like, okay, Luke Cage is currently involved in criminal enterprises, so he has to know what's going on with fucking Kingpin.
Surely.
He has to at least be adjacent to that. You can have an easy character arc about like, oh god, do I need to come back and be a hero? Can I successfully detach myself from this criminal situation? Because I'm a hero. Kingpin's a super villain. I have to fight this.
Of course. Famously the mayor as well.
Jessica Jones just is there.
Why not?
Oh yeah, Kingpin. Luke Cage. Is it Devil's Reign that he runs for mayor?
Bro's just like fully the mayor at the moment, I think.
Oh, is he beat Kingpin?
Like right
Did
now,
we win the vote?
I think so. Like...
Bro, let's go. I mean, there you go. Like maybe Luke Cage. The thing is, Luke Cage is like equivalently one of the most visibly powerful ones. Him and like Jessica, the two like actual super powerhouses. So if you want to not have Luke Cage just physically come in and steamroll every situation, then you can then have him be your political side of it. You can have him be like dealing with the logistics of it. And maybe he's like, well, fuck it, I'll run against them. Fuck it.
Let's go.
I'm Luke Cage. You can't shoot me with an assassin because I'm fucking bulletproof.
It's true.
Jessica Jones is just there. At the end of season 3, she embraces the concept of being a hero. She's recognised for heroics.
Nice.
And she's like, I could get involved. So she can just have been there. But she's also the one who's the most the most belligerent. So
yeah.
I feel like she's the one who you need to least explain why she wasn't there. Like,
right, yeah, she could just be like, I don't want to get involved in that.
At least in Born Again, in Defenders, there was a ninja cult who were going to destroy New York. This one's like, the mayor is a criminal now, which is a pain, but she's going to sit there and have a fucking swig of whiskey and be like, I can't do that, he's the mayor.
If somebody comes to my house, I'll beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, like if that individual task force was to come and knock it, I'll fuck them up, but like, I can't really, there's nothing I can do, so sorry guys. But you can just get her involved somehow. She's easy to work in. Iron Fist.
He's there because Luke's there.
He's there because Luke's there. Off-screen heroes for hire happened.
Yeah, they're still pally, but like, he's there because he's there.
There he is. Again, Colleen's the one who's still in New York. Chuck Colleen in because she's just a bit.
See, we can just sort all that.
This is the benefit of her, the main like low-level vigilantes as well.
Right, yeah.
Like Colleen Wing and Iron Fist are just people with swords and can punch and hit really good. That doesn't necessarily mean they would be on site of every situation ever. Like every time Daredevil gets in a fist fight, I wouldn't expect them to jump in because they're just other people who are fighting their own battles. Like you could tell me that Iron Fist has been beating up other criminals on the other side of town.
Yeah,
like that kind of has a bit happen. Again, the only one who is a question of this is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is like the guy who shoots webs, who is like a real superhero. He's like, in space, Graeme in space.
Other New York heroes. Where are the X-Men?
Where are the X-Men?
Where's
Captain America 4: A Brave New World? He's Captain America. New York's part of America.
What does the president have to say about this?
Which one?
The Red Hulk.
Who's president at this point?
I don't know, Ewan. I don't think they fixed that.
Do you subscribe to the theory that Val was his VP?
We might see in 10 minutes.
I think in 10 minutes? Yeah. In 10 minutes?
I'm joking.
Thunderbolts will become real
right now.
in 10 minutes. I am deeply fascinated. I want Thunderbolts to tickle on that. I also need Thunderbolts to address, when does the shadow thing happen?
Yeah, I need to know why.
Like, is Kingpin still there?
Maybe it's not New York. We're in, I don't know. It's definitely New York.
Fake New York.
The Avengers Tower's there. It's definitely New York.
New York. Bro, I think you can see the work. I'm sure there's one shot in Born Again where you can see the cranes around Avengers Tower again.
Right.
So I'm interested. I'm fascinated.
What does Happy Hogan have to say about this, man?
What does Happy Hogan about this? You know what? Why is there Celestial sticking at the fucking North China? And Graeme, what would happen if Tony Stark was on Sakaar?
Damn, watch What If Season 3.
Yeah. Unironically.
I suppose.
Yeah. I think the ongoing path will just be that. I mean, Season 2 Born Again, there's a lot that could happen. I mean, we're talking a basic Devil's Reign situation. I think it just needs to be Daredevil fighting against Kingpin where he can. I think along the way he should pick up his friends and it should lead up to a big explosive action set piece at the end.
Yes.
But it does capitulate on the emotional stakes.
I would like us to do that, yes. Somehow, I don't even need Fist to be beaten fully. I just need them to lose some control.
Yeah.
And have us like restore a state of normalcy, kind of.
I think if he stops being mayor.
Yeah.
Maybe they can end on this thing of like, oh, okay, fine, I'm not mayor anymore. Just out of curiosity, do you guys know that Daredevil's real name is Matt Murdock, the lawyer?
Yeah, but I think, Charlie Cox famously stated that Bendis was like really his favourite. So I would really like that to happen. I would like to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
I think he should go to Doctor Strange and ask him to perform a spell whenever he forgets that he's Daredevil.
That would be shit. Okay? And I like that movie.
I was going to say, I do like that movie. Oh, man alive. I'm hopeful. Dario's back.
Very much so, yeah.
I mean, the old cast are back. Elden is on the cast list for some reason.
We didn't really touch on that, yeah. Did he really die? Well, is that what really happened?
In the comics, famously, they fake his death. And they reference that comic. There's like a license plate or some shit. You know, one of those low-level references where they directly like reference the name and number. It's like, by the way, this is the comic where like Bullseye fake kills Foggy, or I don't think it's Bullseye.
Is it Lady Bullseye? Something like that.
Someone fake kills Foggy.
Right. Okay.
But then they reveal that he used like special bullets to stop his heart or something.
See, could it be something crazy like that? I don't know why Bullseye would do that, but maybe we explain that.
Do you think we're too entrenched now that Foggy being actually alive would be a betrayal, or do you think fuck it, just get him back?
Oh, that's a good question, Ewan. That's a great question.
I'm on team fuck it, just get him back.
Oh.
Maybe he comes out of hell with Muse.
I like the idea of like...
Maybe if they treat it with the correct emotional gravitas.
Suppose.
Like Foggy comes back and Matt's fucking pissed.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Maybe they bring him back.
But then can they do that?
I'm
Matt
thinking...
had the whole season 3 of him not telling them that he was alive.
Aye, I suppose. I'm liking bringing him back, kill him anyway, at the end of that. But then that's maybe like, well, we're just done it again. Like, we're just retreading this. But I don't know. I actually think it's probably easier to just leave him dead.
Yeah.
Or you can't go like halfway. You need to do one or the other.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think leave him dead, but I like the idea that it's maybe still there. plotted somewhere.
Well, I think we're talking flashbacks. I think we're talking like his ongoing presence.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I might need to ruminate on that more. Yeah.
That's a great question.
But now I'm having like
they're asking that question probably.
They're sat in the room and all right.
Yeah.
What do we do here, boys?
Like, because it's not obvious. Like, you think it's obvious he's dead, but a lot of the discourse has been people like, is he?
Well, yeah.
Somehow, and I don't know if there's anything in the show right now to like hint towards that.
So I think it's purely just either people who are in denial, or who know that
it's a potential.
Like by the way, when this happened in the comics, it was a fake death.
Aye.
Back.
So I don't even know if narratively makes sense for it to be a subversion. Do you know what I mean?
That's a good point. Actually,
so I'm not really fussed either way how it works out right now. But we'll see how they go.
I'm curious. I'm fascinated. I'm excited.
Me too.
We'll be back next fucking year.
I
can't believe they're just on it.
We'll be there.
We've mentioned a couple of times they're also doing a Punisher special, which
they are. Hopefully that comes out between them.
Yeah.
If we can move with that fast.
I hope that's like quick and easy. I mean, if it's just like a raid style, Frank based out of prison, we gotta look into his opinion about the police, the whole thing that's happening. Maybe a bit of backstory as to how he got to from Punisher's into where he is.
It's either the raid one or it's fully the backstory between that to where we are now.
Okay, so you're thinking the special might not be about him.
Aye, because that might be season 2.
So right, okay, so
Born again.
Right.
You get me?
That's fair. No, I get you. Yeah.
So it's one of the two. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too, man.
It's a great time. I mean, the last thing we can say about it is that with the new showrunners back, no matter how uncertain we've been about season 1, it does seem like going forward we've kind of got it unlocked now.
Aye.
Everything seems to all the ducks are in order a wee bit.
Definitely, it's got the potential to be the best MCU show.
Definitely. And I think for any qualms with season 1, it did well enough as well. People still really liked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't Secret Invasion bad.
I think
At
a
its
lot
worst, it was just like a letdown.
Like taking the general public out of the scenario because they don't know all the behind the scenes shit that's happening, right?
Fucking bozos, mate.
Like all the people that liked it enough to be aware of all the turmoil backstage were on board enough just by Charlie Cox being back and Vincent D'Onofrio back and all the rest of it to push it to be successful. I think
so as well, yeah. And I think it's important to know that they've delivered enough that we're like, cool, we're in, there's spice here, let's keep the ball rolling. We keep this going.
Yes.
6 seasons in a movie.
Give me some more. Yes, I need them in.
So
will Daredevil appear in Secret in Doomsday? I don't know. No. But maybe.
Will he appear in Secret Wars?
We'll see. Which Daredevil?
He's got more chance of appearing in it than Moon Knight.
I don't know what he's doing. Which one? Mr. Knight?
You never know.
I don't know, man.
R.I.P. Moon Knight, I guess.
Does he even know?
He's got more of a chance of appearing in it than Blade.
Oh, don't say his name, man.
Sorry,
that's harsh.
That hurts. On that somber note,
we will leave you again.
That was a good hustle. We will be readdressing you guys soon. It is not long till the Thunderbolts.
That's true.
I warned you this would be an MCU year. We had a Captain America episode, you got Daredevil, and you will be getting some sort of Thunderbolts episodes.
And we appear to be so fucking back this year, so it may continue.
I can't believe it.
Sorry.
Fantastic Four could be good.
Maybe.
What a world.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. The geopolitical situation is getting worse, but it's producing better MCU properties.
I like it. That's what Dave Mustaine of Megadeth once said. When the world's shit, the music's great. It didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially it.
Megadeth.
Yeah.
I think the paraphrasal point is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big truth on that one. We will tune in with you guys.
Yes.
Imminently.
We'll see you then. Enjoy the shortest episode you'll ever get from us, probably.
Yeah. I'm looking at the clock and I'm seeing at least 2 hours, maybe slightly short on that after editing.
We'll see.
Insane. We were able to keep it on track. This is why I cut the Offenders talk. Okay, I guess like force cut it, but I was, we're going to events soon. We've got some things tonight, but also I wanted to give other things bigger breath. This was Daredevil. We talked about Daredevil. I'm happy.
These are facts.
I think season 2. Once they announce like Luke Cage is back, I'm up. Let's do the Defenders episode as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Get more into it. I'll need to watch stuff as well. I'd like to watch everything before I talk about it again.
Yeah, man, I could watch Iron Fist again. If you need someone to partner watch it because you can't watch it, that's fine.
I think Rebecca does not want to watch any of these programs. We watched Defenders. She's like, I do not care.
Damn, not even like.
Except Punisher.
I don't know, man. Luke Cage is great.
Look, I insist it is, but I'll have to work on her for that one.
You can't win them all.
We can't win them all. I don't think we'll be watching Iron Fist together. Sorry, Graeme.
That's okay, man.
You and me can watch it together.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be watching it with my significant other. Oh, right. A lovely day and night.
Yes.
We'll see you on the flip side.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Scenes is a fan-created podcast. We have no affiliation with any of the brands, studios or properties mentioned. All views are our own.
Produced and edited by my partner, Rebecca.
Music is provided by Epidemic Sound, and the cover artwork was commissioned by Rhiannon Kagoe on Twitter or Instagram.